I don't know why I didn't that one time. I'm still so confused. Okay. We're good. We're good. Let me just double check my streams. Let me just double check everything. Make sure it's actually doing stuff, because it screwed me. It screwed me a couple weeks ago, and I'm still upset about that.
Were we on 77?
I don't know. I stopped keeping track of that. I think 77? Let me double check. Let me double check.
I think it's 77.
Might be 78. Let me look at yours. What? What are you doing, phone? What are you doing? You fool. You fool. Yeah, it's 78. Last week was 77.
Okay. Good thing I looked at that.
What do you mean I looked?
Good thing you looked at that, I mean. Not
Good thing I looked at that. Good job, Genesis. Good job. What a hero.
I'm the hero of the story.
I don't need to be saved.
Alright, well, and with that, welcome once again to another amazing, absolutely factual episode of Crafting and Chat.
Okay.
I mean, do we say a lot of non-factual things here?
Sometimes one of us starts running their mouth. I bet we've said wrong things. And if not, look, there we go. There's another non-correct thing. So either way, we're right. You know, that's the real secret to always being right. You just say everything.
Yeah,
we're never wrong.
You're never wrong. Then how could you be wrong? Because you're saying everything all the time.
Exactly.
Well,
exactly.
Welcome to episode 78 of Crafting and Chat. We were confused on what number this was, so you know, I took the time and I looked.
Hero. Hero.
I'm sure the audience can see that we have two of our cast members here. They will be joining us hopefully shortly. In the meantime, Adam, how you doing tonight?
I'm all right. I went to do Dance is back in session. I guess I talk about that on this show now. Dance is back in session. I'm doing that with a friend of mine, and we're excited. And I drove there. I drove. Yeah, I did. I drove to downtown Buffalo, the city that I live in. I literally am the one who drove. I know, it's shocking.
Now, hold on a second. We've never mentioned the cities that we've lived in.
No, we have, because remember, Carambola did that whole thing where he described that whole thing. You remember what I'm talking about? He described that. Oh, wait a minute. No, that was in the other podcast where he was muted and we were just talking to a ghost.
That was the Kaz, the podcast.
Yeah. Is this a podcast? Who knows? Yeah. Man, one day we're gonna do episode 4 of that.
One day.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's fine. They know where we live. They know where I live. I only said I live there. I don't know where you live. You know, in a month or two, might be different. No one knows. People move all the time.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, no, Dance is back. I'm not late though. Probably won't be late in the future. So I guess things are resuming as normal. Because there's classes now. There's 2 classes and then an hour and a half of free dancing. Today we just did the one free class. Next week we might do the other. We might do both classes, but we're not staying for the hour and a half. because my friend's tired. I'm tired, mostly because I'm fat and not exercise. um, but yeah, I did that. Yeah. So, how's your day?
Oh, it was actually nice and warmer today, actually. Uh, thank God it wasn't in the teens or negatives or anything
Yeah.
like that, the way it's been for the past week or so.
Mhm.
Um, Another day, honestly, just kind of doing my work that I got to do during the day and preparing for our lovely podcast in the nighttime on Tuesdays. Even though we do think about this throughout the week, we kind of have these discussions and talks throughout the week, but we'll save that for later, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Otherwise, though, I mean, it's been a time over here. I mean, it's always so goddamn cold, and
Hey, family show.
I mean, gosh darn cold,
Hey,
and
family show.
so fucking cold,
It's always so chilly.
and as I'm sure you know the audience knows, I just hate the cold. I despise the cold.
I wouldn't think the audience would know that. I think they would think you love the cold and companies that are French. Um, um, yeah, that's cool. That's cool, man. Desunoto has texted. He said 15 minutes. I don't know if you
Yes,
saw that, but that's just an
yeah,
update. Kevin has also texted. He's trying to beat a boss. He wants to beat the boss because the game he's playing is going to be his topic. So he's really cutting it down to the last minute there. But
my
what have you been playing, Genesis?
um, I've been playing some things. My little daughter here decided to wake up after we put her to sleep, and she shouldn't be
Mm,
sleeping, but she's up. She's staring at me, smiling at this point.
we got a
What?
special guest.
One of these days, we'll put her part of the chat. We'll make a fifth chair for her, and she can sit in that chair.
She stands in the middle. That's what the middle's for.
Oh, right. I
Yeah,
forgot about
because
that.
remember, I can open it up, and the table gives birth to her. That's
Ah,
why I
yes.
made this.
Ah, yes, yes. That is true.
That
That is
no
true.
other reason. It's the only reason I
This is
made
true.
this.
Yeah,
Well,
she's sitting
welcome.
here. Yeah, she's sitting here smiling and listening to everything that we're saying at this point. She thinks a lot of it's funny,
Yeah,
apparently. I mean, we are comedians, you and me.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
just completely stand-up guys here
Now,
now.
let me ask you: does she have
Yeah.
an online name yet?
She doesn't, and I think I should make one for her. She's got a bank account, she's got a cell phone number, and she's also got uh um her own controller.
She got an
Um,
800 credit score. What the hell?
she's got a card actually. I have two cards ready for her already. There's two credit cards that are already ready for her. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah, she's ready to go. She's ready to go. She's got to turn one, and then I'm gonna leave her a card, and she's gonna have a shopping spree for today, buying all the milk and diapers she wants.
Now, should we spend this time trying to come up with a name for her, or should we let her get a little bit older and pick it herself? I feel like this is important.
No, let's pick a name for her. I don't give her the. Why would I give her the illusion of
Tony.
choice? Why would I do that? All right. Well, Tony's joined the podcast. You like that name, Tony? You like Tony?
Or Matsu.
Oh my God, we should call it. You like Matsu? What about Matsu? Tony or Matsu? Oh, she's going with Matsu. All right, Matsu
Matsu
it
it
is.
is. All right, Matsu. Nobody
Matsu.
take that. All right.
I really like Tony, but she seems to enjoy Matsu more.
Matsu, 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 Matsu. One of these Tuesdays, we should just have a podcast where we just say Matsu over and over, like for an hour and a half. Oh,
We
Kevin would
should
be so
just have
confused.
a special Matsu episode and just the entire dialogue is Matsu, 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 and you're like Matsu, 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 Matsu. Desnota's just gonna be like,
No, we turn to Desunoto and we go Matsu, and then he'll
we
be
just hear
like,
some
"What? What was the question?"
what? What was the topic again?
We'll be halfway through an episode and he'll be like, "I played Metroid Dread." Trying to beat it in 2.5 hours now, working my way through it.
Guys, I'm playing Metroid Dread. I'm trying to beat my 5-minute speed run, apparently.
Playing Metroid Dread for the 86th time. Getting pretty far.
I really like the game. The mechanics are really speaking to me at this point
It's
at the
still
86th
still not
playthrough.
still not used to like the dodge mechanic or like the slide, but or like the shooting or like the
Moving
map.
in general,
Yeah,
but
the
I really like the
directionals.
story. The story is what's hooking me. I just don't know what's going to happen
I
next.
just Samus is such a badass character. Like she doesn't say too much because she doesn't have to. She wears her heart on her sleeve, and I would die for her. And also, I've been watching an anime about people in diapers who just lick each other's faces. Like it's like a little indie anime. You know, you might have heard of it. It's called Diapy Diapy Licky Licky. And
Oh
then
my
I
god.
watched a movie that came out in 2019 that nobody's ever heard of, and it has a 1% on Rotten Tomatoes, but the IMDb rating's a 1.2. So it was about a guy whose dad
There's
like ate him, so he's trying to
okay.
reconcile.
So
What the hell?
so two things here. Ready? So first thing, have you what? Give me a movie you've seen that's had a Rotten Tomato score in the single digits.
Ooh, I think. Oh God, I don't know if I know anyone off the cuff. I would
I,
say G.I. Joe: Rise of Cobra. I don't know if that. I don't know if that's in the single digits though.
I'll give you one that I know is in the single digits that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Artemis Fowl.
Oh God, no! I avoided that like the plague.
8% Rotten Tomato.
That's crazy.
It's it was bad. It was a whole. I watched that movie and by the end of it I was like, did I die? Am I alive still? Is this a this is a movie?
Okay, so G.I.
No
Joe,
continuity whatsoever. But yeah, go ahead.
G.I. Joe: Rise of Cobra, 33%. So it doesn't count.
Oh,
Also, I have seen Problem Child. I googled movies and Rotten Tomatoes. I've seen
uh
Problem Child, and
huh.
according to this, let me just double check Rotten Tomatoes. It has a 0%.
It's a 0%.
Yeah, it came out in
Jeez,
1990 with 29 reviews. It has a 0%, a 42% audience score. So that's not bad. I remember
0%.
enjoying Problem Child. It's stupid, but I remember enjoying it. But Kevin, welcome.
Good lord,
Hello.
Or
Kevin.
inside. Once you
Okay.
get inside to get
Welcome, my dear
inside.
friend.
Hi.
We haven't played Tiny Tina in a while, dear friend. We're gonna have to go
No.
get back out of that.
Yeah, we do have to.
Yeah.
I apologize. This weekend has been
No. I
insane at
listen.
work.
It's so same thing. I haven't been
Yeah,
on for the weekend.
Genesis was mostly not on this weekend either. Like
Oh,
everyone,
Yeah.
it was.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I know. When you were apologizing, I was like, I'm just gonna let him go because nobody was on. It was just Adam. Adam's just living
Got
his
it.
life, and I was like, oh where, oh
Yeah.
where are my
Genesis, we'll talk later.
friends?
Absolutely.
But
Um, the second question I had. So, second. Well, actually, you know what? I asked the same question to Kevin here. We
Yep.
were in the middle of just kind of just going back and forth and talking, and we were just talking about just terrible movies. Because Desinoda always seems to mention something that he's watched an obscure movie from 2018 that has a 1% on Rotten Tomatoes. So,
Okay.
what?
Okay.
Give me a movie that you've seen that was in the single digits for percentage for Rotten Tomatoes.
I have no idea.
Okay. You can't name one off the top yet. Okay, no problem.
No,
No issue.
I don't like Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
Um, because I feel I know it's basically the same thing as Metacritic, and it's like an aggregate of like movie critics. But I feel like too many times the critics that review certain movies don't want to be at those movies.
So you mean like they don't want to
Like,
see those movies from the get-go, but they're
yeah,
forced to go
and
see it?
they just like pan them for reasons that make no sense. Like you'll read reviews
Hmm.
and you'll read their opinions, and you're like, but that's wrong.
I mean, it's an opinion.
I
It's not wrong.
I mean, in some cases it really is though.
Sometimes they're not great. Yeah, I don't really care for Rotten Tomatoes, but it's actually a good way to look at something and be like, okay, this has and 95%. But if you read any of the reviews, it's like, this movie's okay. Yeah, I'd recommend seeing it, I guess. Because they just, after you submit your review, they go, would you recommend it? Yes or no. It's literally, that's what it is. You can write the worst review for a movie and then hit, I recommend it. And that's a positive rating for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like,
Interesting.
it doesn't
I don't
take
know.
everybody's score like Metacritic does. Because
I see.
Metacritic will take scores from each website and then convert it over to the Metacritic rating.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh.
in Rotten Tomatoes, it's like, hey, if a movie has a 50% and 100 people reviewed it, 50 said yes, see it, 50% said no, don't see it.
Got it.
So that's why
But
it's
yeah,
like
no, like I
fresh or
go to the
rotten.
cream of the crop reviews or whatever and like read those as opposed to looking at the number, and then I'll look at the audience score, and that's like the extent of that website.
I'll tell you what I do. I look at the movies. If I think they're good, I usually have I know what I like at this age.
Oh yeah.
Usually when you see a trailer for a movie, you can kind of figure it out. And I just
Right.
try to guess the Rotten Tomato score. And then when I look at the Rotten Tomato score, and if I'm anywhere close, I know what kind of movie that is. Like, and it's literally worked for me every time. I've been wrong a few times, so I watched the movie and I was like, "Oh boy, I was wrong on that one. That movie sucked."
I give movies a chance regardless of some. So okay, sometimes I'd say a good like 55% of the time I'll give a movie a chance, even if it's a bad, Rotten Tomato score. Like Artemis Fowl. I saw that movie. That was honestly a terrible, just horrible, stupid film. Um, I'm gonna have to give Eternals a watch, even though their Metacritic is pretty bad.
I don't
It's
think
nowhere near.
I don't think
Not Metacritic. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah.
yeah, I don't think Eternals is awful. I just think it does nothing. I think it's just a generically boring movie. It has really nice special effects though. But like
Okay.
I'll tell you exactly what happened. I'll give the best example of that movie. I was watching it with Carambola.
Carambola.
Yeah, Carambola and his wife. And about 45 minutes in, their puppy had to go to the bathroom, so we had to pause the movie. And when Carambola paused the movie, his wife was like, "We're only 45 minutes in," and Carambola looked at her and was like, "No, we're not. We're near the end." And I'm like, "Dude, we're only 45 minutes in." And he's like, "No." And we thought the Disney Plus thing was broken. We thought that it made a mistake because it felt like we've been watching it for hours.
Oh my god.
It's boring. It's boring as all hell. But I don't think it's like, I think on Rotten Tomatoes it has like a 30% or 40% or something like that. I would say
It's
it's
about
like
a 40.
I would
It's like a
say it's
40.
like a 60, honestly.
Somebody had put up all the Rotten Tomato scores of every single Marvel movie since the beginning.
It's the second worst, right? After Thor: The Dark World, I would
Uh,
assume.
if I could find that infogram again, I will. I'll go searching for it in a minute once Matsu puts down my phone over here. But
Mhm.
oh, by the way, Kevin, my daughter, we're calling her Matsu on the podcast.
Okay.
She's Matsu, so that's
You
who
got
she
it.
is.
Like the Dragon Ball character.
No,
There's a Dragon Ball character named Matsu?
not
I thought
like
there
that.
was. No?
But I mean, I don't know.
I've heard that name in anime. Hold on a minute. We'll look it up.
All right.
Ooh, according to this, Eternals is the worst.
I'm not surprised.
Thor:
I
The
thought
Dark
there was
World
one
has
worse.
a 66.
Oh wow, that's a
Yeah,
good score for
Eternals
that
has a
movie.
48. Yeah, yeah, that's. Oof.
I'm surprised at how good that is for that movie.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's one of the only Marvel movies I rewatched because I'm like, it can't be that bad. Whew, it was.
yeah, the pacing was really bad for that
I
movie.
honestly I don't like almost anything about it.
I mean,
So
Thor's in there. I can't dislike Thor from in there.
even Thor is not that great in it. Like he's the classic, the first Thor.
Mm.
The Loki
I
stuff
can't
is alright.
find it.
The second thing I wanted to talk about while Kevin's looking up the Matsu from anime, um, so like Destinota usually mentions he's watched an anime about like diaper people,
Yeah.
looking at each other and they're called diapy something something. I don't know what you said, but it was a fantastic thing.
Dopey
Um,
licky licky.
Yeah, that's exactly what that anime is called. It's not a real anime, but that would be an insane title for an anime. Um,
Kevin,
I
there's a
I
character called Natsu in Dragon Ball, not Matsu. It's with an N,
I'm
like
looking
in
at.
Nancy.
Oh, hold on. I might be an English translation. No. What is this? This character is called Matsu. He's dude with purple hair, mohawk. Young boy nearly as strong as Yarrow. He trained at a temple known as Tiger School and learned the Tiger Strike Fist. I don't know any of this, by the way. I've only heard this name mentioned. Um, he's apparently alive. He debuted in the Earth arc, Yarrow the Saiyan Boy, and Fast Forward. But it also says Dragon Ball
uh,
Muteki.
I don't know what I don't know what that is.
Okay.
It might be that part of a spin-off series, like a Tenkaichi
Oh,
series
maybe.
or something. I don't I don't know what I've never heard. Wait a minute. Purple mohawk hair?
Mhm.
He has a sword?
I don't see one
Kevin, I'm
sword.
gonna send you a
Isn't that
picture.
Trunks?
Is it this guy? The purple guy on the right? I'm gonna send that to you.
There's a dude
No.
from one of the
No?
movies
Okay.
that has. I don't think he's got purple hair though. He's got a mohawk, but it's white hair, and he has a sword. He gives it to Trunks. That's how he gets a sword. What is his name? God, I don't know. It's not Tarls. It's not Tarble. It's not. It's something. Why do I think it's something with a T? I don't know. Anyway, so the second thing I wanted to talk about was I recently watched the newest episode of Attack on Titan. Let me just take a minute here to highlight something from this show, and I did not expect them to go in this direction at all. Um, they're going in the direction of time travel, but the thing is that the main character has been there since the beginning of the show, and his future self has been lurking in the background since the beginning of the show as well.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody pointed out that if you after you watch, so I'll provide as much context as I can here without getting too crazy. Um, the main character Aaron is now trying to overthrow the entire government that he's been in for a while now,
Sure.
and basically fight against this other country that's really been oppressing the world because they have been experimenting with those titans that make those people those giant monsters, and they're the ones who started everything. So basically, his logic is, if we kill them, then hey, listen, we're free finally, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's clearly a very deeper and ulterior motive that he's got here. Um, and a lot of us didn't realize, at least who watched the anime, people who already read the manga, they already know what happened because the manga's over, officially. Um, Nobody really realized that the cause for a lot of things that happened in history that's been going on in the show were not just mere things that happened. They were caused by a catalyst. The catalyst being Aaron. Um, so in the latest episode, he basically goes back and looks at memories with his brother of what happened from the start to get them to where they are today through the eyes of their father.
Sure.
So and somehow the father seems to interact with them as if they're standing there. In and we thought, hey, these are flashbacks, these are memories we're watching. In reality, those were all actual things happening. I'm gonna try and explain the definition of this as easy as I can. The the main protagonist in the show has the ability to see the the past of his future inheritors. So if you inherit the power that he has, he can see your memories because you're the next inheritor of everything that you see. So the person in the past can see in the future of that person's past. That makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, not
Okay.
at all, but I get what you're saying.
So so basically it was revealed to us that he actually like started a lot of the things that happened the way they happened. He instigated his own father by telling him, you need to do it, like you need to do this, you need to kill these people, you need to do all this. And from the beginning, he was the reason why everything ended up the way it is, almost as if he planned everything from the start.
So he can
So
influence his future past like timeline thing.
because he's been there since the beginning.
Got it. This is like you if you
So
could see the memories of your daughter and you're influencing her to do stuff evil.
yes, that's a good way to put it, actually.
But yeah.
So people said, "Hey, go watch the first season again, and you'll notice a hooded figure constantly lurking in the shadows." And I rewatched some episodes. I'm like, "Oh my God, he's been there the whole time. He's been there." You see his character, and you see that if you look at the side profile of that character, it doesn't look like what he used to look like back in the day in the first season. But when you look at his current version now, that writing for
I
how they
wonder
did
if
that
that's
to me.
something that they planned or it's just like I have a genius idea and we have like a character in the background. Let's just evolve him into this. Like I wonder if that was like day one or like
I don't. I'm assuming it had to have been day one. I just thought that was
it
like a
sounds like it would
brilliant
be a day
idea.
one. That's
I
genius.
thought it
If
was. I
so.
thought it was amazing. I was like, oh my God. I mean, the execution of explaining time travel is always pretty bad. I don't think you could ever explain time travel
Yeah, no,
in any way
it's all
good.
exposition
But
usually.
the way that they did that, I can't think of another uh, form of media that had done something similar to that, where they did. I don't know. The only thing I could think of was somebody on YouTube had put up a rumor of like not rumor, conspiracy theory of Encanto. I haven't seen the movie, and I know Adam, you've been telling me like, oh God, it's very highly rated and all
Yeah,
that.
Kevin saw it. Kevin
Oh,
said
did
he.
you?
Yeah, Kevin.
What'd you think of Encanto?
It's a very good movie. Music is amazing.
Yeah. Guess another welcome. We're waiting for you here when you get in. Um, but I need to see it. One of the conspiracy
Yeah, you
theories was
do.
that Bruno apparently was throughout the entire movie the whole time,
He
and we
pops up in
see
the background in a couple of the songs.
yeah, and they're saying that you see him from the beginning of the movie. He's even on the cover of the movie, like in the corner somewhere. Like if you look at the cover of the movie, he's somewhere in the corner, and you'll see where he is.
In the
I
song, We Don't Talk About Bruno, he's in the background when Dolores is singing and he's just jamming out to the song. It's great.
There was another song where the two females were singing, and you see him in the background as a hooded figure just doing things in the
Huh.
background.
Fun.
I thought that was insane. I just had to share that with you because I thought Attack on Titan, that where they're taking that show is just absolutely crazy. This is all his plan. He did this since the beginning because he's been influencing the decisions of his father, who was the previous inheritor of his powers.
Yeah.
Um, you know, all these things that are going on, and well, we all thought, he had this reason built because of what he saw from his father's memories, saying, "Oh, you did this, and you're the reason why," and blah blah blah. Meanwhile, he was the one instigating everything. Just a future version of himself was doing that, and I was like, "Oh my God." Destinoto, welcome. How are you?
Hi.
Hi. How's it going?
It's going.
How's it going? So now that we have the entire cast here, gentlemen, what did we play last week?
I'll go
Who wants
first.
to? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because I played Animal Crossing for maybe like 20, 25 hours. Played nothing else. That's literally the end of my, that's the end of mine. So anybody else is next.
um, I have played Modern Warfare. I started the platinum run on that. I think I'm getting close to beating that up. I was just doing the campaign because apparently there's no online trophies or anything for Modern Warfare. The 2019 one. Kevin, is that correct with timeline? 2019 Modern Warfare.
What?
Modern Warfare came
Yeah,
out
sure.
2019. Yeah. That one I'm
We're
doing as
fact
the
checking.
platinum. I also played Oh, I played Titanfall as well. Oh, I don't know
Titanfall
if I
2.
want to talk. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Well, I tried to do a platinum run in that, and the one trophy that apparently less than 1% of people have gotten who've beaten that game and gotten the platinum, just I don't know how they do it. I don't understand. I don't know. Adam kept telling me, listen, just play it for the story, and I was like, I can't. I need to
I
do
also
this.
said come back to it. You can come back to it so easily after you beat the story.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, props to that guy. You streamed it. You streamed it on your YouTube. And that one guy who was watching it ended up coming and invited you to a party and tried to give you some tips. So props to
He
that guy.
did. He did, yeah. And the guy could not speak very much English, so he did what he could and tried to show me things, but it helped. But in the end, I still couldn't do it, so I moved on to Call of Duty.
But that's just a nice little moment, like of the community, like
Absolutely,
trying. You know, that's you just
absolutely.
don't hear enough about that
No,
stuff.
no, you hear more about crappier stuff happening
I
than you
went
see
to a
about the.
party and somebody called me the N word, then I left. That's the end of my gaming online. But that guy was like, "No, this guy sucks at the game. I'm gonna help him. I'm gonna help him.
So
What a
yeah,
hero."
shout out to that guy. I don't remember your name, unfortunately. If I do remember the name or see it, I will shout it out in the cast.
I mean, no. That's somebody else. Tony. It's Tony now.
If you want, oh, okay. Yeah, Tony. Thank you for all your help in Titanfall. Unfortunately, I still couldn't do it. Kevin, what'd you play?
Yo, uh, the hell did I play? I played,
What?
uh, damn, did I only play one game? Oh, I think I played a little bit of Quake. I don't remember. The weeks blended together.
Yeah,
But
you did play Quake.
I definitely played a game called Vampire Survivors that we'll dig into when I get to my topic. Don't you worry.
Okay, waiting for that.
Get ready. Get hype.
Destinoto, what'd you play? What'd you do?
Hmm.
Mm,
Um.
mm-hmm.
Not going to get into it too much this week, but I played the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel game. I'm
Okay.
Oh,
playing that,
yo, okay.
and it's really good. It's really good
I've heard.
for
I've heard it's real good.
yeah, very free to play friendly. I haven't spent a dime on the game, and I already made a full Dark Magician competitive deck. Almost done with the Sky Striker competitive deck, and I still have a ton of gems to spare.
Oh wait,
Not a ton,
you
about
haven't spent
3.5k.
money? Nice.
Not at all, yeah. You
Wow.
can you can make a fully like top tier competitive deck without spending any money. You can
Okay.
That's very good for a
I may
person.
have to. I may have to start that up. I already have it downloaded, but I may have to actually start that up now. Okay.
and if you keep playing like, at least like an hour or so every day, you basically make the gems back from doing missions. There's a dual pass you can buy, which is their battle pass, and it's super easy to level up. You just play ranked against random people all over the world,
Excuse me.
or you can play solo mode, but it doesn't give you as much XP. But you get
How's
gems from that.
the How's the competition online? Are you getting beaten pretty badly, or are you actually winning some matches?
I've been winning after I learned how to use the deck properly.
Oh,
Yeah, Dark Magician's pretty sick.
okay. Well, there's that.
Cool.
Nice recommendation. Thank you. All right, gentlemen, we have a few topics to cover, but I think we're gonna go with Kevin's topic first here. Kevin, you
Yeah,
want to take
yeah,
us away on
baby.
this?
All right, I'm gonna sell you all on a game here. Well,
No, I
probably
doubt it.
not, because I don't think it's everybody's type. But I
Sell
saw
me,
this
Kevin.
briefly on a stream.
Sell
It's
me.
called Vampire Survivor. I'm getting there, right? Sit down.
Sell.
Sell them
You're
into
not worried.
sex trafficking.
Whoa, hold on a minute. All right,
Family
so
show.
this game called Vampire
Hey, you can
Survivors.
sell a whole family.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh God.
Oh my.
Oh no. All right. Well, Kevin, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
um, so I don't really know how you're gonna classify this game. I'm gonna try my best to classify the
Old.
genre of this game.
Uh huh.
Um, so it is a rogue like ish, and it's one of the games where you have every time you level up, you have three choices, possibly four, depending on if you get lucky or not, um, of things to like choose from. You have a limited number of slots for weapons and items, so you can only choose so many, which we'll get into later. And then you can also have like upgrades for them. They have 8 levels of upgrade, and then possibly an evolved form of the item,
Hmm.
depending on what it is. Um,
Oh, yeah.
and the game is, as far as I can tell, endless. Well, each like run, I guess, is like endless. But you get gold and achievements. Um, the achievements will unlock more items and whatnot, a la like Dead Cells and other games where like over time you keep getting more and more things that could possibly spawn in the game. I think Enter the Gungeon might have done something similar to this as well. I know a lot of games do, but the titles are blanking on. Rogue Legacy might have been another one as well. Um, but anyway, you can also buy permanent stat upgrades for yourself, and as you buy permanent stat upgrades, all of them get slightly more expensive. Um, so actually maxing yourself out going to take a hot minute in this game. Um, but yeah, it is $3. This game is worth a lot more than $3, but I'm not going to complain. um, there is so much depth to this. So here's the controls for this game. Move up, move down, move left, move right, and it's only on PC. So click the mouse to click OK or click on buttons, and that is it. You do not attack manually. The game will dictate when you attack and how you attack based on your items and other things that you have.
It's a very
um,
simplified structure there, actually.
yep.
That's actually
And
pretty
then
cool.
enemies, the AI in this game, they have one thing that they're trying to do: take the shortest route to move on top of you, because you only take damage if they actually move on top of your character, or you move on top of them. That is it. um, it's super simplistic, but it is freaking crazy because the reason why I was late is because I had a run going where I was like, oh man, I could beat the boss. I could see what happens. Content, here we go. And I actually did beat the boss of the Inlaid Library, which is the second level that you unlock if you complete. I forget what achievement exactly, but there's an achievement to unlock it. Um, and that boss was tanky, very tanky, and a lot of things spawn on the screen. I this game approaches like item builds in a way that's just freaking awesome. Um, I'm a big fan of Risk of Rain 2. We're gonna compare this to Risk of Rain 2. I think this is gonna be the best way to do about it.
A Risk
So
of
Risk
Rain
of Rain 2,
2.
I mean essentially the same thing as Risk of Rain 1, but like Risk of Rain 2 is better in almost every way. Um,
Yes, it is.
so you haven't even played one yet, shush.
No, it's so nice though. I love Risk of Rain 2.
um, so in Risk of Rain 2, you basically just stack items on top of each other, and you don't always continually get benefits from it. There are like maximum stack sizes for certain things because like percentages can only go up to 100% for certain things, like crit chance. Um, but you just keep stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking, right? And you just kind of get like the items that you get. Similar concept here in Vampire Survivors, except they don't just stack and stack and stack. In fact, when you start to really get into the meat of this game and you're trying to progress as far as you can, your weapons will max out at level 8, but you can evolve a certain selection of them. But in order to evolve them, you also have to have a specific other item in your collection, and you can only hold 10 total things. So you have to like figure out what these combinations are by stumbling across them, and then you can go into your collection and actually see when you like have gotten an evolved version of one of the weapons. You can see what specific item you need to get that again, and then you can start to actually plan out item builds and hope that like you can draft into these builds because it's still a random chance. But because there's limited item slots, really all you're trying to do is hope that you can either upgrade something that you do need or you can pick some of the new ones because once you've filled up those 10 slots you are guaranteed to get upgrades for those things because you can't hold any more items. It's a really cool way to approach building. I'm sure other games have done this that I just am unaware of, but like this is relatively new, a relatively new concept for me, especially the fact that like in order to really have a weapon reach its full potential, you not only need to upgrade the whole thing, but to get to that next step, you need a specific other item in your inventory to actually do that. I thought it was really cool. And when you do evolve a weapon, it gets insanely strong. um, so some like a lot of the weapons and items and stuff are callbacks to the Castlevania series at large. You have floor chicken as opposed to wall chicken for your healing item. Those you just pick up. Weapons are like whip, um, daggers, holy water, Bible, cross, axe, um, fanfare. Uh,
Sorry.
you're fine. So, um, basically, the whole gist of the game is you just continually upgrade yourself. The screen gets loaded up with different particle effects and projectiles and stuff as you add more and more weapons on. And all you're trying to do is just weave your way around and through enemy packs, um, and then get a build that you can continue to progress with as it gets harder and harder and harder. And around the 25-minute mark, the boss of the area will spawn. You hope you can kill that. And when you do, like what I just did, you unlock hyper mode for the level that you're on. And I started that up briefly just to see what that's like. It's the exact same thing, except everything moves faster. So that'll be fun to play around with too. Um,
So you're playing turbo mode. That's basically what you're doing.
basically, yeah, yeah.
Oh boy.
Um, but yeah, no, like $3. It honestly, I'm having so much fun with this game. Totally worth $3. Totally, it should be like 15 to 20 in my opinion. So like, check this game out. If it seems like something that you would enjoy, you're probably going to enjoy it. Watch some gameplay because I can't do this justice. You can't really explain what happens in this game. There's just hordes of enemies that come your way, and you're just mowing them down if you have a good enough build, or you're getting massacred and you try again. Um, and as far as like how many permanent like unlocks and stuff do you need to actually be relevant, I have I think three total permanent unlocks
Mm-hmm.
and I just beat a boss. Like you don't need that stuff, so it's not one of those games where like you have to grind and grind and grind and grind and grind to get somewhere. You can beat this stuff early on if you want, but like if you want to see the true potential of what you can do, and if you want to get some of the later achievements, yeah, you're gonna be playing this for a hot minute.
Okay.
Like one of the achievements is to get 5,000 gold in a single run, and so far my highest is like 2,000. Like I
Oh
don't even know
god.
what you have to do to get that high.
Oh my
So,
god.
um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I as far as I'm aware, the game is doing decently well. I'm pretty sure it has like a lot of really good reviews. I'm hoping that
29,310.
yeah, I'm hoping that this keeps getting enough attention where whoever made this wants to expand upon it. I'd pay. I don't care if you don't do free DLC. I'll play more of this. This is fun.
It
It's
looks.
super different. Because it's kind of like, you know what it really is like? It's like a bullet hell, except there's no bullets. It's enemies. You create the bullet hell for them. They're just trying to walk on top of you.
You know, and that's an interesting concept that way because I find it difficult to play like a bullet hell, um, like an actual bullet hell if there's too many things coming at me on the screen. But if it's enemies that I could actually, you know,
They are literally walking toward you at all times, and you can
okay,
abuse that too. Because if you like need to get around enemies, you start like lower on the screen so they come toward you, and then quickly go up and around because then they have to like alter their path. Like there's a lot of strategy in it, in terms of how you move around, what kinds of items you pick up. Like I said, the depth of builds is insane. Um, and then there's a whole bunch of different characters too that start out with different items and have different like minor stat benefits as
Okay.
opposed to other characters. So yeah,
Okay.
deceptively, not deceptively. Very simple game. Just watching it, quite deep when you get involved in it. It's fun. I can't recommend this enough.
It's
But like,
simple on the surface, but it's completely
yeah,
intricate underneath.
thank you. Yeah, it's unlike nothing I've played. Well, I mean, I guess it's like certain bullet hells that I played. But like, again, it's not a bullet hell. The enemies are just walking at you.
I mean, in that regard, it sounds like Risk of Rain too. I mean, we had so many things walking towards us at
True.
that point. Nah, we had things shooting at us too, but like more things were walking towards us, trying to kill us at that point.
Um, yeah, that's really all I got. So
Real
check it
quick,
out. Highly recommend. Yeah.
I sent the Steam link in a group chat in case these two are interested. Also, it's in early access. It was released in
Oh, I didn't know that.
mid-December. Yeah, it was released in mid-December. It's had 2 updates. The most recent update was January 30th, so yesterday. And then in their what's next, they say, other than the obvious new evolutions and missing base characters, in February we'll be getting Stage 3. That will also unlock a new minor game mechanic that will in turn give the ability to recruit new special characters. So it looks like this definitely has a future and definitely more to expand on it.
That's
So
amazing. You know, and here's the thing. I hope that there's more for me to like buy. Honestly, because I like $3 is basically stealing from this person. This is such an awesome experience.
yeah,
Release some paid DLC. People will buy it. They will not have a problem with
yeah.
it.
It sounds like it's
Support.
going to be ambitious and especially with it in early access. What you were describing, it sounded like a finished game. So
it
when
plays like one.
when I found that out, when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is early access still. Like, holy crap. So yeah, I would expect this game to be vastly different with just a bunch of new content by later this
So I
year.
will, since now I know it's in early access. There is one thing that I personally have like a slight issue with in this game. Um, Desinoto might know what I'm talking about here too, because you play MOBAs. I don't know if you, Adam or Genesis play MOBAs that much.
I do not.
So a big thing in MOBAs is like knowing the time to attack, and like you move, and as soon as you think your auto attack is up, you like quick turn around and fire, and you start running away again. You turn around and attack or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
One of the items in this game, the daggers, will throw in the direction you're facing, but there's a slight delay on that delay, where like if you turn and like you're facing the correct direction as it's coming back online, the game like doesn't recognize that you've changed your position just yet or something, or it's already calculated your direction beforehand, so it throws behind you instead of in front of you. Um, it wouldn't take much to like tighten that up and make it do what I'm talking about, where like it's super responsive and you can turn at the last second and get it to go the way you want it to. But that's whatever. I mean, the game still plays just fine. That's just the only thing that I've noticed where it's like, this could be better.
Cool.
All right, cool. I appreciate that, Kevin. Anybody who's interested in getting that, make sure you take his recommendation for that. It sounds like a roaring good time. We're gonna move on to the next. Shut up.
A roaring good time.
Oh, shut up.
There's
Yes,
a roaring good
Matsu, I
time right there.
understand. So we're gonna move on to the next big
Real quick
topic.
thing too.
Yeah, go ahead.
$3 game. Just gonna throw this out there as well. Like if you have like, oh crap, I only have like a half hour of free time, you can play a run of this, no problem.
Oh, you can play that in half an hour.
The boss
Cool.
at the level spawns in 25 minutes. So,
Oh.
I mean, it keeps going after that, but like,
You're about a half hour late to this podcast, my guy. Would you start a new run? Hey, why are you laughing?
no.
You were later. You were 45 minutes late. All right, we're gonna move on to the bigger topic at hand here that we're gonna be probably spending a good chunk of time on. I'm sure you gentlemen have already heard. Sony is acquiring Bungie, and it is a $3.6 billion deal that they are acquiring them in. It is still shocking with the wording that they're remaining an independent studio, still able to self-publish, continuing to work for multi-platform, but they're under the PlayStation umbrella. That again, I don't know if that's in direct correlation to the Microsoft Activision deal. I would think it's not, but
Mhm.
it's just a weird flex, in my opinion, from Sony that we're buying the original creators of Halo, and the deal is 3.6
Mhm.
billion. It's half of Bethesda at that point. And I know Adam and I were speaking about this, but I really want to get the other two, your other
Yeah.
two opinions here.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this whole Bungie being bought out by Sony, the way the wording is for the deal? Give me your opinions. Give me what you guys think.
Who's
Um,
going first?
Desinota, you want to go first?
Because you're
Sure.
missing one part of this.
Oh,
Um, it's good for Sony.
uh-huh.
They'll get some money out of this. They'll get some recognition and even more good vibes
Good
to the public
vibes. This is
because
true. Apparently, the
This is
public's
true.
been reacting very positively towards this deal.
because they acquired a company that has fled from other companies in the past, and they're
That's
giving them creative
yeah.
freedom and independence
Mm,
Mhm.
uh,
Uh,
while
Owning them.
acquiring them.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
yeah,
pretty huge
and that's the
because most
weirdest
of the
part for
time that's not.
Bungie. They've been running, and now all of a sudden they're being bought.
Yeah.
It's odd, but
there's a
yeah.
reason.
Kevin, you want to elaborate on your thoughts here?
Yep. There's not a thought. So supposedly, because I've read some articles, supposedly part of this deal is that PlayStation, Sony, PlayStation, whatever,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
they are interested in learning from Bungie about how they go about making and maintaining live service online games, aka Destiny. They
right.
didn't buy them for Halo. They bought them for Destiny and their experience, which means PlayStation has a thought. I don't know what that thought is. I don't know what game they're making that's going to be live service, but I'm excited and I'm hoping that
So
somehow they also buy Grinding Gear games
so
because
I
then they'll have
can
Destiny and Path of Exile experience.
so I can kind of
Ooh.
speak on that. Sony, because I've also read about a trillion articles about this. Sony acknowledged in a lot of articles like we're known as a single player story driven gaming like place.
Hmm.
What we're not known as multiplayer. And they have about 6 studios working on online games
Hmm.
and that have been hiring constantly. And Sony and everything with Jim Ryan, he's like, we need their technology and their experience with online games so we could just accelerate what we're doing. And they need our capital. And also, we're making money on this. Like, it's a
Yeah.
win-win for both companies. And the nice thing about this is it's remaining multi-platform. It just has the backing of a large company, which is now, I hate consolidation. This is so good for Bungie, though. And honestly,
Oh yeah.
probably better for the Bungie community and the Destiny community and anything Bungie makes.
Uh, I got a question to the panel here. So, considering they're independent, right, but they're still technically, like Sony signs their checks at the end of the day because they're owned by Sony now. Um, do they charge the other platforms for the royalty of using Destiny? Like Xbox wants to keep Destiny on their platform, so does PC, right, at this point in time. Do they gain like money from that, or is it because they're independent they don't gain anything from that? I would assume they'd have to gain revenue and royalties from other brands using Destiny, right? I mean, other competitors using Destiny, whether it's Stadia, whether it's Xbox, whether it's PC, anybody. I don't know. That thought popped in my head, and I was like, I don't know whether they do or not still because of the way that they're wording this deal.
I would guess that Sony will not charge like an up fee or anything. I think that's what the independence is about. But any money that they're making, it's going into Sony and Bungie's pockets because it's more like a team up than anything else.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's almost similar to
they,
how it's kind of similar to the deal with Microsoft and Bethesda because hey, they're still their own company, they're still running everything. We are just the pocket for them, and also we kind of make decisions for them. But that's the only thing that's different here is Bungie's making their own decisions. They can put any game anywhere they want. They're still publishing their own games. Like we were talking,
Bethesda
we don't know if
doesn't.
we'll see the PlayStation Studios logo on
Right.
any of their games.
But Bethesda doesn't. They're not going to put. Oh God, what have I done here? They're not going to put other like at a certain point. I mean, I think we've seen Microsoft if they want to keep a lot of those IPs on Xbox's console. They're not trying to put like there was a whole article about whether Elder Scrolls 6 is going to pop up on other ones. There was a whole article about like whether the future Fallouts will appear on those, the future Doom, the future Wolfenstein, all those. Microsoft's calling the shots there. This one, they're remaining multi-plat, so even 10 years from now, unless agreements change, if the same agreement were to stick, then they can make on any platform. Bethesda, I don't think has that choice because Microsoft is going to say that for them. They're going to say,
well, that's what I was saying. That's the only difference between this and Bethesda. Bethesda is still operating independently, but they're listening to Microsoft with like exclusive stuff. This is the exact same kind of deal, except Sony says nothing about nothing in the Bungie deals. Bungie can do whatever deal they want. They probably can't do a Game Pass deal, which I think that's one of the reasons Sony bought them. Like, hey, we can't lose this. Also, Bethesda or Bungie, so many B's. Bungie wanted to remain independent. They were bought for like $20 or $40 million back in 2000 by Microsoft, and then they had that deal with Activision, and now they're bought for $3.6 billion, but they're still independent. Like that's insane.
See, but and here's where the wording comes into play. Would you really call this a partnership if the word acquired is being used here and there's a monetary amount they're being acquired?
Yeah, I would still call it a partnership. They own them, but they're still partners.
My take on, and I know nothing about marketing, business, anything like this, so Adam, please jump in and correct me. But like how this basically sounds is like PlayStation was like, hey, Bungie, you guys have a super successful live service game now. Like Destiny 2 has been around for freaking years. All right, whether or not people like it, that's irrelevant. Like it has been around, it's been successful. Period. So we're looking to like actually make multiplayer games, perhaps online or living games, live service games. But like we don't know what the hell we're doing. You guys clearly do. How much do you want like extra to teach us?
Yeah, that it's honestly that. I'm actually surprised that Sony just didn't make an investment into Bungie. They were like, "No, we want to acquire you," and Bungie probably was like, "We want to be independent." And also, some of the articles mentioned that Bungie wants to expand Destiny into film and television, and Sony also offers that.
Oh, Sony would do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So this is like
it's like I'll scratch your back, you scratch.
Exactly. These are like the whales with those little fish on them that eat the bacteria off. Like it's such a symbiotic relationship. It is so nice for both Bungie and Sony. They're both getting what they want. They seem to have every creative freedom at Bungie. Like I honestly, the only bad thing I see about this is, I mean, I just don't like consolidation. But if honestly, if this is the way it's going to go, this is basically like, hey, no, we're just two publishers working together, kind of, in a way. Like,
do you think this is the way it's going to go for Microsoft going forward? So far, they haven't issued any statement as far as like,
not at all.
hey, we're going to change the way we're doing this based on the feedback we've gotten from the internet and how they've reacted. The Sony deal, so we're going to change
Microsoft doesn't
things
care.
on this. They're going to continue. I would assume the same thing. They're going to continue to acquire. They're going to continue to be the boss in that manner, and say, listen, we're gonna you guys get to maintain your names and all this, but hey, at the end of the day, you belong to us. We're gonna buy you, and this is how we're gonna do this.
Here's the thing, though. I please again correct me if I'm wrong. This is my perception of the two companies. So like Microsoft is usually like all business. We acquire you, we own you, yada yada. But PlayStation from oh god for years now has really been about the little guy. They seem to really support indie studios a lot more
They
and
do.
like talk them up a lot
What-
more. So it's nice to see them also being like, hey, you know what? We just want to work together. Like, come on.
I would love to say that you're correct, but there was that whole thing about how like indie studios hate working with PlayStation because
Oh,
of how
do
their
they?
store
Okay.
is set up and because of how like they deal with like the
Didn't
internals.
that get
Well,
debunked afterwards
It did
though?
not get debunked. Months later, Sony replied saying, "We've listened to feedback. We're trying to improve things." And then the people who spoke out about it, they were like, "Thank you. We appreciate that." And Sony was like, "Yeah, we're learning." Sony
Okay,
does
so
this
they
thing where if they don't
yeah,
have
at least they're
first party
trying. Yeah.
exclusives, they will start to support indies. But once their exclusives start rolling in, they just throw indies to the side. That's literally the criticism Sony gets every generation, and they're trying to turn that around. Indies are really going to Microsoft and Nintendo because Nintendo is it's a portable thing. You want to play little games for a little bit at a time. Indies are perfect. And Game
Oh
Pass.
yeah,
A lot of
100%.
people are trying games they would have never tried because they're not spending 15, 20
So
bucks on
Game
them.
Pass I can
Oh, that's
understand.
fair.
How
Okay.
how often are indies successful on Nintendo though? I don't know because I
I would
don't pay
say it's
attention
very
enough.
because it's
They're very.
portable.
I would say it's very often because Nintendo has these great sales all the time on indie
Oh,
games, and it's
Okay.
like once an indie game comes out, because how many Nintendo games come out a year? 4,
that's true.
if
Yeah, but
that.
just about 4, yeah.
So throughout the rest of it, they're not getting like the big things like Call of Duty, so they're filling that gap with a bunch of indie games. They're
Yeah.
not they're not doing the it's not the Wii shovelware anymore. It's hey, let's support these smaller titles. Shuhei Yoshida always talks about a game he's playing on a Switch with his kids. And it's like a game that was made by one person in a bedroom. Like every single time he's talking about it. And he's the indie guy for PlayStation.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I really think we will end up seeing a PlayStation Studios logo on Destiny games whenever they release the next one, or maybe as an update later on. I don't think it's going to mean the same thing as we usually see a PlayStation Studios logo, but I think there will be one just to make sure that people know this is under the PlayStation umbrella. Like, we support them. We're part of this. We want people to know that this is we also want to pour our heart into this and help
Yeah.
as much as we can. I think we'll see it. It's not going to mean the same as when we normally see it, that we know, oh, this is somebody owned by Sony. Like this is straight up Sony coming at us.
Yeah.
Like how Destiny loads up now, we'll see the Bungie logo, and then I think we'd see a PlayStation Studios logo pop up afterwards. Eventually, I'll probably maybe safe
Now,
bet maybe
now,
summertime probably we'd see it.
now, I don't know how like publishers and whatnot work with each other. I don't know how like, this crap goes because I don't look into it. Adam, I know you look up random things.
I
All right,
do.
Bungie is now part of this PlayStation umbrella. What is like the likelihood of like Gorilla and Bungie working together on a new first-person shooter or something like that?
100% possible. That's
That's
exactly what this
definitely
deal's about.
that's definitely possible. Oh
Yeah.
my God, can you imagine a live service Killzone coming from Gorilla?
Or Resistance?
Oh my God.
I can't
Definito,
imagine
are
that.
you nutting over there? Is that are you
Wow.
are you thinking about this and going, oh?
Wow.
I'm
Ooh,
all right.
that got dark.
Just a little wet.
That
Listen,
oh god, that derailed me.
he and I both know about Killzone, and I mean he's gone on and on about Killzone as well in the past. Uh, Resistance as well. I would love to see more Resistance.
I think
Um,
Resistance is Gorilla, right?
No, that's
No,
Insomniac.
oh, that's
Insomniac.
Insomniac.
Sorry, wrong
Yeah.
company. But still, same umbrella, right? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, same umbrella. Yeah,
But
all
like
owned.
Resistance, I feel like if they were gonna make another Resistance game, a live service approach could actually really work for that theme.
Resistance, I think, yeah, definitely. Honestly, I think Killzone would work too because it's just
I haven't played
aliens.
enough of it.
I mean, it's literally the same thing. It's
Oh,
aliens invade, kill alien.
I mean, the Hellgast would be an interesting. I
They
I
have
would
good
want a
lore.
live. Yes, I would want a live service based on the Hellgast. I don't want to play as a human against the Hellgast. I would like a live service based around the
I mean,
Hellgast.
honestly, I
okay.
think
All right.
Bungie would also just help not only with live service, just with online in general. Because Sony is literally not known for the
Right.
greatest online network in the world.
Tell you
It's
what,
far
though.
better than like PS3 days, but it's
I'll
not
tell you
great.
what, though. One thing that they cannot let Bungie do is netcode. No.
This is
Now,
okay. I will agree with Kevin on this. Do not let them do netcode because by God, if you
Help
let them
them.
do that,
Somebody needs to
we
help
are
them.
all screwed for every single online multiplayer game you
Look,
see on Sony.
not Destiny is fine in PvE, but when you go to PvP, oh my
Oh
God, there's so much
God.
delay in
I
everything.
I have a question for the panel. I actually have two questions, mostly for Kevin and Destinota, because I talked to Genesis about this. Do you think that Bungie will put any kind of skins in the game, like in regards to like PlayStation characters? Because
Skins
I
in what?
like they would like in like if you want to buy like a Destiny armor, like it just references like God
Or
of
like
War
an
in a way.
armor, an armor that's God of War centric, or
Yeah.
Horizon centric, or Bloodborne centric.
What are we talking? Like armor in Destiny? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, armor in
Yes,
Destiny. Do you think they'll
yes.
like drop those?
Oh boy. I mean,
Because my logic
honestly,
was yes, they
okay,
would for every console because PlayStation is really trying to get that brand out there, and they were talking about multi-platform.
right.
So like how we have God of War and Fortnite. It's so big and it's everywhere. Why not put it in Destiny? Hell, Witch Queen already has 1 million pre-orders.
Right. I don't like I want to say yes, but I don't know how it would work. I feel like it might actually be easier to model exotics after pieces of stuff from PlayStation
Yeah, I mean,
I think
I
I
don't
think
know
I'd
enough
I'd
about
agree with that
Destiny.
one.
because you
Yeah, I
don't
don't.
really have like whole skins. It's more every piece of gear looks a certain way, and then you can like
Yeah,
play with the colors. So I think exotics would be the best way to
an
go.
exotic weapon. Like if you
And I
have
Okay.
think there
one,
are skins for exotics actually. Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
model one after like Kratos's axe, or
Yeah, there's
Or
model
manacles in
blades
one.
or
Destiny. Yeah.
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
yeah. I was just thinking that totally could be a thing. Also,
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
if Sony does these live service games, are they going to be day and date with PC?
That
Uh,
depends.
Because I think the
That all
single
depends
player
on a programming
experiences.
standpoint.
I think the single player experiences are going to be like that delay still, but I think day and date multiplayer experiences might start being the with PC day one because you got to build that community as fast as possible, and then you got to keep them there.
Oh wait, I think I misunderstood what you were saying. Never mind. I thought what you meant was like, are we gonna see updates to live service games happen at the same time on console and
What?
PC?
No, no. Who cares about
Um,
updates?
which can well, when you're doing a live service game, you should. Uh,
Yeah, but like I don't care about updates. I mean, I don't even
but
care about
like,
live service games if I'm
I
honest.
think even Path of Exile. I think Path of Exile is almost same week
But
for
that's not my
everything.
question. It doesn't matter.
I know, but now I'm thinking about it.
No, it doesn't matter. No, my question is: Sony puts out a live service game. Is it only coming out on PlayStation 5 or is it coming out on PC that day
I
as
would
well?
assume on PC as well, right?
I would
You would
assume
have
that
to.
as well for online
there,
games.
there's a line that I think needs to be drawn though, because I think most of the
A
things
vertical
will
one.
yes, a vertical line, yes, not a horizontal line. Um,
No, get that shit out of here.
I think
Hey, family show.
9 times out of 10, a live service game will go onto PC and PlayStation. The one time it won't is when they're trying to make this PlayStation like PlayStation centric experience that's saying, "Hey, this is where we want you to play it because this is the best place to play it. Other times it's going to be on both because they want to cater to everybody, but there's going to be, see, you have to remember, they still do this where you can still only play certain games on a PlayStation. Not every exclusive has come to PC, and I think it's going to remain that way as long as they maintain that thought process. That can obviously change, everything can change, who knows at this point. But if I'm talking about the current Sony of 2022 in February 1st, right? I think they'll maintain at least one or two. If they had 10 live service games, one or two will only be on PlayStation. The other eight or nine will be on PC and PlayStation.
Now
I think they will always draw that line
let me
from,
ask you,
yeah.
what's separating them? Like, do you think factions would be day and date?
Factions would be only on PlayStation.
I think
That
it would be day
not
and
be
date.
available on both.
I think it'd be day and date because I
If
think
you
the
made,
original Last of Us is going to have a PC port.
well, if the original Last of Us did, maybe, but I'm right now I'm going based on the assumption that it doesn't, because so far I don't think we've heard any rumors of that coming to PC. There's a remake of it coming, but no rumors of it
That
coming
remake,
to PC.
a lot of the rumors for that remake are it's coming to PlayStation 5 and PC.
Oh.
But
What do you have? What do you have left on PlayStation then, as far as just only PlayStation?
I mean, you still have Last of Us 2 on PlayStation. You still have Ghost of Tsushima on PlayStation. You still have, like, there's so many games still on PlayStation, and they still come to PlayStation first. That's why I think story-driven games, they will first come to PlayStation. And then I think the multiplayers, I could totally see, like, a Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer that can be cross-platform with PC. Totally see that happening.
The only thing that it still puts a bad taste in my mouth for is the amount of cheating that goes on PC.
Yeah,
there is
and
still
they would
cheating on
have
PlayStation
to.
and console, but like there's a ton more in PC than there is
They would
on
have to work
console.
on that, and hopefully this Bungie deal will help them with that.
I don't. Does Kevin? Maybe you can help me with this. Does Destiny 2 have decent anti-cheat software? I don't remember.
So I honestly have no idea if
Okay.
it does or doesn't. But from my experience playing first-person shooters and from the PvP, if I've encountered people who are cheating, maybe in the like 200-ish hours I have, 2 people were questionable.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
I don't know what they have for anti-cheat because I never looked into it.
Mm-hmm.
But like there is halfway decent anti-cheat out there. It is hard to make completely perfect ones. And I would like to test myself, but I don't know if there's like videos of like, guess if this person's cheating or not.
Okay.
Because I just play like so many first-person shooters at this point.
You'd be the one I
I
would
feel
go
like
to
I
if I wanted
give
to
a
find
lot
that
more
out.
people. Yeah, I feel like I give a lot more people the benefit of the doubt because I'm like, yeah, you could probably pull that off. Yeah, you could probably pull that off. Most of the time, it's like if somebody's cheating, most of the time it's super obvious. Like if you just start
Right.
seeing like headshot, 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 and you're like, no.
Right. Right.
But then
Um.
like I've seen people just turn off that encounters.
Yep. Yep. Um. So, one question I have for the panel, Adam, if you're good with your questions, if you don't mind me
Oh
asking
yeah,
one
no,
now.
go ahead. I'm done.
Okay.
That was a good answer.
So my next one here would be, now that we've seen Sony do the acquisition of Bungie, Microsoft has clearly, they're not done as well. They've acquired Activision. They still want to do more. What does the panel think is the next big acquisition, and what's the next small acquisition, and who's acquiring what? And give me your thoughts. I want
I
to
have
hear what.
questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, is Square Enix owned by anybody yet?
No.
Okay. Okay. PlayStation would be it'd be huge if they pulled off something similar
I would
with
agree.
Square Enix
I
for
would
Final Fantasy
100% agree.
XIV information. Because
Absolutely.
Destiny is a very good live service game that is MMO like.
But they need the
However, Final Fantasy
competition too.
XIV is
Yes.
MMO.
Especially
Straight.
World of Warcraft, they need
Yeah,
competition.
that yeah.
And the thing is, you can learn a lot from games like Destiny, Path of Exile, Diablo, for maintaining a live game because of how you have to update those games. But to maintain a game that is as vast and giant as like an actual MMORPG like World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14. I don't even know any other ones. What was New World? Is that still a thing? I don't even know if people play that anymore. Um, but to maintain worlds like that, wildly different experience for that. So I think that that's what they target, and then they're not getting Blizzard obviously because they're bought already. And I think the next biggest one is Final Fantasy 14. So why not go for Square Enix?
I
Interesting.
listen. I would 100% agree. That's been my thought
Grinding
process
Gear
all along.
games, I did mention that too for like Path of Exile for
Hmm.
that kind of live service game because the
Hmm.
way that they do that, everything's free. They make money off microtransactions. That's it. Path of Exile 2 will be free. Like, um, so they were just bought by Tencent 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. Thank God that didn't really affect that game much. Um, but like, I
Well,
don't know if they
it
are
did.
really up to be bought again.
They were actually going to put the game out for 10 cents, and 10 Cent was like, "We'll cover it." That's why it's free.
Now, just so I reiterate the question, this doesn't necessarily have to just be Sony. I'm asking across the board.
Oh, I know.
Who?
I
Yeah,
think they're next. I think they made the
that's fine.
next move.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just making that clear. That's all.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's your thoughts on that. I would agree with Square Enix. I think if Sony's gonna make a big ballsy move and say, listen, we're gonna go big or go home, by Square Enix. I think Adam and I were looking the other night, and they have so many, so many properties under their name. And the biggest thing that sticks out, just like you mentioned, is FF14. They would need that to fight World of Warcraft to the T, basically, because once Microsoft gets their hand on how they want to proceed with World of Warcraft, whether they want to make a sequel or they just want to improve on the original game that there's there, you're going to need big ammunition to go up against a player base that big. And once you have Microsoft's pockets in that, can you imagine um, the possibilities that they would get to improve that game? You know,
I
they
I am intrigued to see what they do with that because currently Blizzard was just like, we'll just re-release it.
yes, and I think that direction is going to change very quickly once they
It could, and it'd
completely
be
take
really
over.
interesting.
Yeah, like I would say probably early, or I'm sorry, late next year. So holiday time next year, we'll probably start to see articles come out about how what direction they want to start taking things in once they figure out the whole management situation and kind of de-escalated the HR situation there. Um, I would think we'd start to see something pop out in like news
Hmm.
related articles and people speaking out that hey, this is what we hear is going on. But okay, Destinado, what are your thoughts on who's making the next big move? And like I said, it doesn't have to be Sony. You give me what your thoughts are. Big move and small move.
Um, um,
Mhm.
um, hmm. Maybe Sony again.
Okay,
Something. They'll
so
get something else.
Sony
what
something
would they
else.
buy?
We waited for that.
Would you like me to come back to you? I'm gonna go Adam first.
Sure.
Your
Okay.
wisdom is unmatched, Desinoto. You inspired me. Because I also think it's Sony and something else. I think
Hmm.
Sony doesn't typically buy large things. Um, they usually just go for one game studio because I feel like Xbox is more about just content IPs and whatever. So if anybody would try to buy Square Enix, I assume it would be Microsoft. I don't know if Square
God,
Enix would sell to Microsoft. Um, I don't
I think
know
they'd
if
rather sell to Sony. I think, but
honestly, I would agree with that, but I honestly don't know. I would say like Sony would buy like Ember Labs, who made Kena.
okay,
They could
okay.
totally buy I don't know who's making Sifu. Do they own that? Those people buy that.
Okay.
What about the people making Jet the Far Shore?
I don't know about that.
There's so many little ones where like Sony, I could see buying them. And Remedy was one we talked about yesterday.
We did, and that
where
would be a big buy for them.
That was a rumor some years ago, and honestly, they fit with their values. That is something where I could see them buying it and being like, "Of course we bought them because we fit with our values and blah 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 blah."
I'll let you continue, but remind me, I want to piggyback off Remedy.
Sure. The last thing I have is, I think the next big one is going to be Konami. Because
somebody's going to buy Konami?
I think somebody's going to buy Konami because Konami doesn't exist.
They're in a bad state as it is.
They're not in a great state. And I assume if anybody would buy them, it would be Xbox. Which I don't think we would like.
No, we would not.
I mean, I wouldn't like it either way if anybody bought them, but like, I think that's the next big one to be bought. Because Konami has a bunch of IPs. Konami has almost no positivity in the gaming sphere. Like, they are ripe for just taking over and
Konami
just
only
owning
has
them.
Two things going for them right now: Yu-Gi-Oh! And pachinko machines.
Yeah, but they also have IPs, like older IPs that Phil Spencer would be like, I want to resurrect them. Like, that would be...
They only have two good things right now.
Oh, yeah.
All the negative things they have.
What company just announced they were getting out of the gambling market? Was it Sega or Konami? Because one of them just announced that. They were getting out of casinos or whatever.
Sega, I think. Sega.
Was it Sega? If
Sega
you can look
arcades.
into that just to confirm, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Kevin, what is your thing about Remedy?
Remedy, yeah. So if the thing with Destiny,
Sega, 56 years.
Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah. If the thing about Destiny, like movies deals and stuff with like Sony was true, Remedy and their games also prime for movies or TV shows.
Absolutely.
Control.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So if they want to like continue along that path too, that would make sense for them to go for Remedy as well.
I'm pretty sure that I think Alan Wake, they tried to get a movie going like after the first game came out, or they wanted like a TV show or something with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, 100% Kevin. I didn't even think about that angle.
Yeah.
They would be.
I was like, ooh, you know.
They are literally a perfect match for Sony. Now, do they want to be bought by them or do like? But yeah, 100%.
Double Fine yet?
Yeah, Microsoft.
Okay.
Yeah, but they bought them in 2017 or 2018, I think. They were one of the
Devolver?
4 that was announced. Devolver Digital is its own thing.
Okay.
Totally possible for somebody to be bought. I mean, Activision was bought, so anything's possible.
Right.
I don't think
Devolver would be
they would.
A huge grab for somebody, but I don't know who would go for
Devolver.
that. I mean, the best would probably be Nintendo to try to eat them up, but
I don't think Nintendo cares.
If we're going, so I think the next major thing, I want to refine my answer here. I think the next major purchase, I really do think that it would be in Sony's best interest to try to go for Square Enix and secure that deal. The next small one could be, you brought up Phil Spencer wanting to resurrect things. Maybe Microsoft goes for Night Dive. Night Dive is trying to bring out System Shock 2, a remake of System Shock 2.
That's actually not a bad guess.
Night Dive remakes everything.
But do they have the rights to those, or do they just get?
I don't know how that works.
I think they just. I think we looked this up before, and they just get they reach out to a publisher, ask to do it, and then the publisher says yes, they do it.
So Night Dive would be a direct rebuttal to Sony's Bluepoint acquisition, because I think they would use them.
That wouldn't be a rebuttal.
Meaning resurrections, remakes.
No, I know what you mean, but these aren't. There's no rebuttals to these. They don't buy a studio and go, haha, gotcha.
No. I'm saying I should have used a different word. I guess
rebuttals not the right word, but
their answer, not answer. What the hell am I? a direct comparison to Blue Point would be buying Night Dive for specifically that reason, if they're looking to buy them for that reason.
Fun little story. Just as I'm looking through the Wikipedia of Night Dive Studios, founded by people who used to work as video game artists for Sony Online Entertainment.
Oh, well,
You're
So,
kidding.
maybe Sony will get it. Huh?
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, let's be honest. Talent comes from Sony. Everybody in the industry who's worked on something amazing usually has a Sony background. It's weird. It is so
you're not
weird.
wrong there.
Night Dive has gotten very successful, and they're starting to become a big name, in my opinion, anyway.
Okay.
Like, I'm all about their remakes because they've remade Turok 1 and 2, Titanic Adventure at a Time, which is one of the best point and click games like from the late 90s.
Real quick, they own System Shock because they bought it from Looking Glass Studios when it died.
Yep.
So it looks like some of them they own and some of them they just teamed up with some studios. Like they did the Quake. Like obviously Bethesda still published that.
Yep, but they did Quake remastering or reincarnation.
Yeah,
or the hell
the 2021. It's just called Quake apparently.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird.
I think the code name was Quake Revitalized. I think that's what came up with the
I believe so.
But yeah, no, like Night Dive, it just seems like there's nothing they can't bring to modern day standards, and they're also not a studio that's going to turn it down. They remastered like kids games, the Putt Putt series, Pajama Sam, stuff like that. Like they've done those too. They'll just do whatever.
Yeah.
It's not a bad guess, Kevin. It's not a bad guess at all.
Oh, they're in Washington State. That's where Microsoft is.
Oh. They're in Bellevue, Washington?
No, they're not. They're not in Bellevue, Washington.
Destinoda, you got any thoughts yet? Any comments you want to make about?
Yet?
Wow.
Well, I was in the middle of a duel earlier. That's why.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm glad that you come here with your attention, like everybody else.
No, I meant that in the nicest way. I didn't actually ask him like as if he has no thoughts. I mean, sometimes I'm sure we all go through that, but I meant that in the nicest way.
Wait, how are you playing Yu-Gi-Oh?
On my computer.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's also on the Switch, which is cool, but it lags.
I can imagine it's lags on the Switch. That hardware can't run anything.
And it's a small screen, so it's hard to read the small cards when you're building a deck or something.
Jeez. Yeah. All right. Well, what you got for us on who you think is going to make the next move?
I feel like Sony already has something in the works, like I said before.
Yeah.
Probably something smaller this time. Because this is. So I'm just looking at their acquisitions. I think this is their biggest acquisition they've done.
Like money value, you're talking
money
about?
Wise, yeah.
Yeah, money wise.
Everything else has been under 3.4 billion, and that one was in 1989 for Columbia Pictures.
Damn, that's a wow.
Yeah, but everything else has been under that amount since then. So
okay,
wow.
Okay.
This is wild.
You think
Night Dive has 10 employees as of 2015.
That's it?
That's 7 years ago. We can't really.
It is 7 years ago, but now I want to know.
You think Nintendo's gonna buy anything, Destinoda? You have any ideas about that?
No.
They're just gonna stay the course. They're not gonna buy anything.
They're just gonna do what they've been doing for the past 1,000 years.
40 years. I'm showing them.
I gotcha.
No, I don't know anything else to say. Go ahead.
Okay. I have
Kevin,
another thought too.
According to LinkedIn, 23 employees at Night Dive Studios.
There we go.
So they've expanded. Oh my god, I have so many messages and notifications on LinkedIn. What the hell? I'll have to look at those later.
I had another thought. Do you think we may see the resurrection of Sony Pictures through all of these acquisitions from these gaming companies? Like we were talking about the Destiny live action TV show and movie and things like that. in Resurrection, I don't mean Sony Pictures is dead. What I mean is that we'll see that these quality movies coming from them, other than just the one-offs or the two-offs in a year that we see from Sony. I mean that we'll see
What?
like Sony Pictures trying to regain more brands to create more AAA movies
I
putting out
think
there.
this is a conversation that we should not talk about because it doesn't seem like you know anything about Sony Pictures.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Oh,
So Sony
shit.
Pictures movies.
Well, you're
So
like these one-offs or two-offs, and you're like they have so many franchises. Sony Pictures is one of the largest like
they're the only
outputs
one
for
left
movies.
standing against Disney at this point.
They're not the only one left standing next to Disney. That's what I'm
I have a
saying.
comment.
You go ahead.
I got a comment coming through Twitch. We got last game Kev saying Nintendo doesn't need to buy anything anymore. They have all the franchises they need.
They never
I
bought
would.
anything though.
Yeah, they did. They buy
They
stuff.
bought a
Oh,
few
they
things.
did. Okay.
Yeah.
Most recent acquisition they did was that Luigi's Mansion developer.
Oh, okay.
Okay, can you explain this to me? Because
I'm ready.
they're not. They're not the only ones left standing. They're one of the only ones left standing against Disney.
Yeah, one of like 15.
Okay, and what are in the last 2 years? What are besides? I know Spider-Man: No Way Home is definitely a higher movie for them because that's still a Sony Pictures movie, right?
Yes.
Okay. Besides that, in the last 2 years, because that's obviously the only one that I've seen, what others are there that have been fantastic?
Fantastic is a matter of opinion.
Okay, I'm going based off of ratings, so that have scored high ratings.
What would ratings matter?
Isn't that how you judge a movie and a game, by the ratings?
Is Disney the largest grossing company, or is it the largest good movie outputting machine?
It's a grossing company.
Why not both? It doesn't really matter if a movie's good if it makes money. Like,
but they don't. Okay, so
the original Venom isn't good, but it's a box office success.
Okay, so maybe I'll go with grossing. I don't know. I'm trying to keep it simple. With you want to complicate it, but okay.
You're not trying to keep. You can't keep it simple though. That's what I'm saying. You know nothing about this industry. Neither do I. We don't talk about it. So it's like you're saying like, will Sony Pictures do a better job at making movies? Maybe. Hopefully. Uncharted looks bad. Last of Us hopefully is good. But like. What you're saying is object. Are you trying to say like, will we finally see Sony Pictures have nominations for Oscars? They have movies that are nominated for Oscars.
No, I think what I'm trying to get at is, are we going to see like more movies come out of Sony? I feel like we see less come out of them at this point because they've sold off 007. They've sold off. I don't know what else they sold off, but I'm saying quantity of movies. I guess I should objectify in terms of just quantity, not quality. So,
will we see more from them? I would assume we would see the same amount or more, as is every year. But it also depends on the box office. It seems like they made that giant deal with Netflix, so I assume they will try to push more movies to that streaming service. So I would just imagine that it's going to be more. But that
okay.
Your question is so like it's missing so many aspects of how the movie industry works. The movie industry is completely different than the games industry.
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess that answers my question at that point then. The only other thought I would add is just to answer the original question that I asked. Next big move that I would think would be if not Square Enix, which as much as I hope they would buy Square Enix, if they don't go for Square, I think the next one that Sony buys is Atlas, specifically for the JRPGs that they have. Sony, I think, would want to line themselves up to have the best JRPGs you could possibly have on any platform. Because that's a strength that they have, and they want to keep that strength going. If they're able to even just hold on to the Persona series, the Shin Megami Tensei series, and capitalize on those and keep those from Nintendo as well. Um, at least the newer releases from Nintendo.
Wait,
That would, yeah.
can they buy Atlas?
Yeah.
Yeah, Atlas. I don't know I don't know what the
But Atlas is
size.
under Sega. Isn't Sega owned by Nintendo?
Right, Sega's not owned by
I don't know how this
Nintendo.
works, by the way.
No, but you see, it's similar to how they just bought Bungie that way, right? You know, they
Oh,
could
that's
buy
fair.
yeah, they can buy Atlas. They don't have to buy the entirety of Sega. They
Yeah,
can
yeah,
just
yeah.
say,
I
hey,
got
we
you.
want to buy this division of you, which is Atlas. We want to buy this. I think who's gonna buy Sega would be Nintendo. But I think if they want to avoid that, they're gonna want to buy Atlas before Nintendo starts to dig their pockets and say, let's buy Sega. And the only reason why I'm thinking Sega is Nintendo has many partnerships with Sega, not limited to
That's right. They don't own them.
Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
not limited to just Sonic, which is a big one from them. That seems to be more Nintendo consoles than other ones. I mean, Sonic Frontiers, yes, is coming to every console. I know that, but in the past, they've definitely been, you know, putting Sonic as one of their main things that is on a Nintendo console more than anything else, especially with like Sonic Colors and Sonic World and all that good stuff. Also, the Yakuza series being only on PlayStation now, finally coming to other consoles. Uh, Sega has. If I'm Nintendo, I would want to capitalize on Sega for the brands, for the sheer size, for all of the IPs that they could just keep under their umbrella. To just further increase their portfolio. Do they have to? I don't think they do because Nintendo seems to be working with their strategy that they're doing. But I think Nintendo would buy Sega and Sony should buy Atlas if they don't buy Square Enix. Atlas or Capcom. But Capcom's doing so well, I don't know if Sony would pay the premium to buy Capcom. Because year over year, Capcom's doing phenomenal. And it seems to be because they're expanding on those already done franchises like Devil May Cry, Resident Evil, and what's the other Capcom game I'm thinking about? I can't remember this right now.
A fighting game.
Street Fighter seems
Yep.
to be doing great for them. Yeah, I said, why can't I remember this? Those three. I just recently read one of the articles that they posted some of the highest revenue for Capcom in years. I mean, Resident Evil after 5 had been like tanking in profits, and they brought it back with 7, and 8's been making even more money. Same thing with Street Fighter. Even though Street Fighter 5 has been out for fucking 5-6 years now, I think. Um, and then just overall their brands. Sony, if they're not making a small, to make a big one, and I think Atlas or Capcom if they cannot take Square Enix. Square, I think, would take quite a bit of time to sign off on, as well as a bit of fighting because of just how many brands that they own. It would be the size of Activision's buyout in terms of IPs and what they own. Money wise, I don't know what they pay for it. Maybe like 40 bill, maybe 30 bill. I don't know what
Sony
that would
should buy
be.
the Pokemon developers. Remember?
Game Freak.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Adam and I had a chat about this the other night too. We were like, does Nintendo own the Pokemon guys? And Adam was like, no. And I was like, that's insane. They don't own Game Freak, but they're making Pokemon? Like, that's absolutely insane to me. And I was like, what? They don't own them yet? If Nintendo doesn't buy Sega, just buy Game Freak, man. Why? I don't know why you haven't already bought them already. This makes no sense to me.
Nintendo better start making some moves, or everybody's just gonna start swiping up.
I think that's something that a lot of people are overlooking too. I mean, everybody knows Nintendo sells a lot of Switches. They've been doing great over the years, especially after the failure that was the Wii U. They've been doing really good, and if they don't start swiping things up again, Microsoft started the game. This is the game that's being played across the industry now. Maybe in certain scenarios, Nintendo doesn't have to buy anything. But I think if they don't start at least with something, eventually there's going to be nothing left. Which leads me to the last question to wrap this topic up for you guys. Um, who do you guys think is the last one standing after all the dust settles, as far as publishers left to buy?
Oh boy, I have the hiccups.
You can just wrap it. You can
I'm
rapid
not going
fire to me.
first. Somebody else go first.
Tencent.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I don't think anybody's really gonna buy that giant conglomerate of a company, unless Microsoft.
They
I have a
own
question.
many things.
I have a
Yeah, go
question.
ahead.
What do you mean in the future? Like just at the end of all this?
I mean, as far as we want to go, yeah. At the end of all this, who knows how long this will be going on for?
I mean, this could be another 40 years, and like it's only Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, Tencent, and maybe Ubisoft or something. Then
and
then,
Embracer Group.
yeah, like in 10 years, who will be here? I'm just gonna go 10 years. If you would have asked me this, like I said, about a month ago, I would have been like, Activision will be here in probably 10 years. Hopefully a better company.
Well, that's news for you.
But now
After
it's
a month
like
ago, Adam's shocked. He's like, what?
I know that Microsoft will be here unless something fucked up.
They get corrupted from the inside out. The poison just leaks out into Microsoft and kills everyone.
I would assume Sony would be here in 10 years. I'm gonna assume Nintendo's gonna be here. I'm gonna assume the Embracer Group's gonna be there. I'm gonna assume EA's gonna be there. That one I'm kind of like 50-50 on.
That's a
The
big
only
if on
reason
that
I'm
one.
saying that is because they had their like financial meeting and they were like, we're looking to make acquisitions. So, I assume Take-Two's gonna be there, and I assume Ubisoft's gonna be there
make acquisitions.
because they got nothing. You're right.
Because Battlefield 2042.
Yeah, they got nothing.
They did say that
Star
it
Wars
was
and FIFA.
disappointing. They don't have Star Wars anymore. That deal ended. In
Yeah.
FIFA, I thought they were pulling out.
That's what I said.
Oh,
They
that's what.
lost
Oh,
Star
I thought
Wars.
you said.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought
No.
you said they only had Star Wars and
No.
FIFA. I'm like, those two are now gone.
At this point, they only have.
They have Apex Legends.
Yep, Battlefield, Apex Legends, Need for Speed.
They got it. They still got a bunch of stuff. They can come up with new things. Dead Space. Don't forget about the remake.
They're remaking that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, like I could. Who's gonna be gone? I think Konami's gone. I think Sega will be gone. Either Sega's gone or they put out a new console in 10 years. I'm going one or the other because I could never be wrong. Except if they don't put out a new console and they're not gone, then I'll be wrong. But yeah, we're gonna see consolidation. There's that whole article by Jeff Grubb on GamesBeat where it's like, why is this happening? And it's like, money is bad because of inflation. So this like the money that's just sitting in these companies, they want to get rid of it as soon as possible because it's getting less and less value. So they're just going to keep buying. So like when Apple owns PlayStation and when Disney and Microsoft combine, oh my god, these hiccups, man. It's going to be great. And I'm done because I can't stop these hiccups.
I will hate the world. I will set the world on fire if Apple buys PlayStation.
That's okay.
And also if Disney fuses with Microsoft, I would also burn the world then because I don't want to see that happen. But
I'm not going to burn the world, but I'll be upset.
No, I will go on. I will whatever I want to do to Ubisoft, I'll do to the world.
Oh no.
I'm ready. How do you plan on burning the world? You need a real big magnifying glass?
Yes, and a huge magnifying glass or a lot of gas.
Now, Kevin, let me ask you a question. How big that magnifying glass have to be?
Oh, I'm not doing the math on that.
Is there enough ingredients on Earth to make that?
I would assume so.
I mean, you just need sand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is there enough sand to make a magnifying glass large enough to burn the Earth?
Who's got Alexa? Ask Alexa.
I do not. I mean, I'll look into this. You guys keep going, but like.
Destinato, I'm waiting on your answer now. What do we got left?
For what?
Oh Lord.
For acquisitions? Or to be acquired, you mean?
Who's left standing? Yeah, who's left standing that
Oh, we got
at the end of all this?
we got
At 10 years, who do we got left? as far as Adams put it. 10 years later, who's left standing?
Sega.
Sega's going to be left standing, you think?
Well, I mean, pretty big.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Pretty
They're
good
big.
company. I mean,
What is their worth at this point? What is Sega's net worth?
Oh, my phone's all over there.
I see their operating income is 14.8 billion yen.
Okay.
I don't.
Oh, that's nothing. It's like $2.
Their revenue is 247.7 billion yen.
That's a good amount.
Wait.
Okay, so yen, guys, yen is super different than ours. About a billion
No. Hold
is
on.
like million.
What did you say first? Oh, you said operating.
Yeah,
Their
operating income.
costs. Oh, operating income. Wait, how is the other income more than that?
It's
Read those two lines
less.
again for me. I missed something.
So revenue's 247, and operating income is 14 billion.
How does that make sense? Adam, please explain.
Okay,
I'm looking up this. I can't.
What's going on?
I'm reading the Wikipedia stuff.
Oh, okay. That's about $2 billion a year they bring in US dollars. If we're looking at 247 billion yen, that's $2 billion US dollars a year.
Okay, but it says
they
that they
bring in.
make that every year. But then, how is their operating income a 20th?
Ooh, interesting.
Okay.
There's something I don't understand. And Adam's
yeah.
drop a magnifying glass.
Okay, hold on.
Wikipedia.
Real quick before we get too far off from this glass thing, I'm just going to end it here. So sand is used in glass manufacturing, and there's a lot of fucking sand in the world. There is 7 quintillion 500 quadrillion tons of it. By our estimates, but most of the sand in the world is not the type of sand you need to make glass. So,
well, I guess I have to figure out something else. Get the gasoline.
So there you go. That's the end of that.
What am I doing?
Get the gasoline.
How much gas is in the country? The country? The world.
The world. How much gas?
Is there enough gasoline to set the world
Depends
on fire?
how much cheese a good chunk of Americans eat the day before we measure.
Ah, yes.
All right.
Is there enough crude oil to go around the Earth?
Around the Earth, yes. It's buried in the Earth, so it goes around the Earth.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so now that we've done this topic,
Yes or no? What was your Wikipedia thing you were saying, though?
Oh, yeah. So you just read it.
What the figures?
Yeah, the figures Sega.
Oh, revenue's 247 billion.
Yen,
and operating income, yen, and then operating income is 14.8 billion yen as of 2020. So
what's operating income?
Old.
I would assume
income it takes to operate.
Earnings before interest and taxes.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense. Okay, because I was like, why is there such a disparity between these two things? Something's wrong. Like I always heard of that as like operating costs, not operating income.
It's the same thing, basically.
Got it. Okay. Makes a lot more sense now. They bring in a lot of money. Holy moly.
They make $2 billion a year. That's
as of 2020. This is pre-pandemic.
I would think they still make a good amount of money. They're exiting the arcade business, but I still think they make a crap ton of money.
Who the hell? The arcade business was closed a lot of the time. The last couple of years, man, they probably lost a bunch.
They also own quite a list of companies.
Yeah, they own an assortment. Like, they're big. Like, they own an assortment of companies.
Amplitude Studios, French video game developer based in Paris. Atlas, Creative Assembly,
the guys who make Yakuza.
British video game developer.
The guys who make Lost Judgment, Total War, Warhammer,
Medieval, Total War, yeah, all that stuff. Ignited Artists, Play Heart, Relic Entertainment.
Wait,
they own the people who make
United Artists.
Ignited Artist.
Oh, sorry.
artists.
Okay.
Yeah.
I say, wait a minute.
By the
And
way, there was a point in 2020 and 2021 where they were losing a bunch of money, but as of June of 2021, they started to get revenue back. That's how bad the pandemic hit them. They were not making any money.
Well, they're coming back. They're good. They're coming back.
Yeah, I mean, the companies like that, they can not make money for 20 years, and then they'll be like, we did good, and they'll be like, yeah, we make more money now. Like, it doesn't matter.
All right. Well,
Too big to
before
fail.
we beat this topic to death, let's move on to another thing I want to discuss.
Failed
wait, hold on.
Oh, God, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, hold on.
They also own Relic Entertainment, Sports Interactive, 2 Point
Wait, Relic is
Studios.
still around?
Yeah.
Relic is still around. They're making
Interesting.
Company of Heroes 3
Oh, that's right. Company of Heroes 3 was announced.
coming
I'm excited.
late 22.
Oh, is that on our list?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of
Sports
games on our list.
Interactive makes a bunch of sports manager games.
They
2 Point
make
They're
those?
supposedly
Studios.
really good.
Yeah, they make Steam's a thing. Genesis. Steam's got a lot of these.
All right, man. I'm sorry. I don't use a computer every day, all right?
You wanted to talk about the film industry, barely know games.
I just asked a question, and I got a slap in the face, all right? That's what I got, all right? So okay.
like
You
it.
slapped yourself.
I don't think that's how that works. I think
You
you
did.
got up,
You
you
like it,
slapped
though?
me, and then told me I slapped myself. I liked it, though. It felt good.
Okay. Thank you. I'm your Dommy mommy.
Oh my god.
They also own
Daddy.
2 Point Studios, which makes 2 Point
Campus?
Hospital and 2 Point Campus. Yeah.
Yay!
And then TMS Entertainment, which is made a lot of animation.
Turn my snake.
Shows.
That's what that stands
They're
for.
big. Listen,
Yeah, they have a lot of stuff.
my point on shut up, God. My point on Nintendo's taking them still stands. They would stand to gain quite a bit from buying Sega.
Sega is also owned by Sega Sammy Holdings.
Why are we just talking over this?
No, I'm ignoring it. I'm not even going to acknowledge that.
And Sega Sammy Holdings has a revenue of $366 billion.
Who's Sega Sammy Holdings?
That's who owns Sega.
What do they do?
They're the parent company. They're a holding company in Japan.
Sammy.
And it's a merger of
Oh.
Sega and Sammy Corporation. Sammy's the one that does pachinko machines.
Oh, well,
And they merged with Sega for arcade and video games.
Yeah, that's going to be dissolved.
Way back in 2004.
Yeah, with hydrochloric acid.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Okay, hydrochloric acid.
Sega Sammy? I'd eat that. Got a little bit of hedgehog in it, probably some cheese.
Sega Sammy. So I think that arcade thing. I have a thing here. They said Sega Sammy said they will sell 85% of Sega to Genda Inc.
So they're selling the arcade business. So 85% of the arcade business to Genda Inc. It's an amusement equipment rental business due to the effects of COVID. It'd still be involved in the arcade business. Sega Entertainment only creates and operates arcade locations. Okay, so they're selling off that part of the business, which makes sense. That, I mean, considering nobody goes outside and does anything anymore because everybody wants to be in their home and just work from home and live in their house. Makes sense. Totally understandable on that part.
Very interesting.
Yeah, Sega still owns too many things, though. They're up there with Square with how much things they own.
Sega. You want to know what they don't own? A movie studio. That's why the Sonic movie goes to Paramount. Fun little fact.
Now, I thought we weren't talking about movies.
I gave a fact. I gave a fun little fact. Let's move on.
I thought that we were not talking about movies.
It was actually more you don't talk about movies.
You know what we don't talk about?
Bruno.
Let's move
on. So I do want to touch on a topic here. So this is a part of rumors, but this was a bigger rumor, so I figured it was just by itself. This is a rumor coming out about this user named Nate the Hate. This person has been in Twitter with what do you call it? What's her name? Millie A, I think her
Oh,
name
Millie
is.
Vanilli. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Millie A. Millie A.
yeah,
You're
Millie
right.
A. Yeah, yeah.
Turn my
Who's
snake.
Millie Vanilli?
That's somebody. I think it's a rapper from the '80s.
Oh, okay.
It was an R&B
No,
duo.
oh no.
They didn't. They were. They won like a Grammy, I think, but then it was taken away from them because they don't actually sing. It was one guy who sang for them. It's a whole thing.
Oh,
You know, there's
um,
Grammys, but how come there's not Pappies?
Daddy, I don't know. Let's make some
Where's
pappies
Turn My
afterwards.
Snakes? You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, continue.
Anyway, so Nate the Hate has got a extensive rumor that's in two different parts. I'm going to read you guys the first part, discuss, and then read the second part, and then we'll wrap it up after that. The first part rumor here is basically talking about Sony and what their plans are for the year of 2022 and beyond at this point. So the first thing he's speculating about here is Last of Us 1 remake that apparently is going to be this holiday. Um, it's rumored to release alongside the television show, and then Factions 2 would be coming sometime this year. Um, Twisted Metal is in development for PlayStation 5 at Firesprite. Early in development, will not come out this year. Is mentioned later that it's a CG announcement is possible for this year at least. There is a possibility we get to look at Bluepoint's original project in 2022. Um, he says that this is in passing, but sounds like confirmation for the smaller project at Bluepoint. Um, Millie, I think, also comments on the same thing. Says that Bluepoint would remake a game and make a smaller, similar game to Miles Morales in size. So Nate info may align, or he may have just taken it from Millie. It's highly presumed that Bloodborne is the Bluepoint project. Um, we are pending Final Fantasy 16 release when it does come out this year. We will finally see Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 as a PS5 exclusive. States there's no PS4 version, believes it will come out in 2023. Square Enix wants quicker turnarounds. Um, he's saying that FF16 is predicted for the later half of 2022. FF7 Remake 2 is planned for 2023. And then the last piece he's got here is he's restating that Sony will retain whatever leverage they have in the mainline Persona games. Persona 6 will be a PS4 and PS5 exclusive. Also reaffirms that Persona 4 Golden will go to Nintendo Switch, PS4, and PS5 in 2022, as it would follow the Ultimax announcement and the anniversary. They do mention that Atlas is looking to expand the Persona franchise as they've done with their staggered PC strategy. There is acquisition talk, but nothing other than two assuming, which would be Ember Lab and Remedy, like we spoke about before. Um,
Oh shit.
Nothing other than their thoughts following recent news, besides Bungie being taken here. The second part has to talk about Project Spartacus and PSVR 2, but I really want to hear your thoughts on the first part
I
of
was
this
gonna
so
say, can we
far.
break this up? Because I already
Yep,
forgot everything.
I will break it up for you. Whatever you need me to repeat, I will repeat, but
Let's
give me
take
your
it
thoughts. Yeah.
point by point for me. But if anybody has any thoughts ahead of that, go ahead.
I'll take it point
Um,
by point. Just
uh,
stop me when you want to talk.
Wait,
I,
wait, wait, wait.
I I have some thoughts before that. Just
Yeah,
a
go ahead,
heads
please.
up. We have talked about Nate the Hate on here multiple times. I think he was right one time. He's been wrong about 75. He was the
Was he
one
even?
that said that Switch Pro would be revealed in September. He said that the Game Awards would talk about Chrono Cross, and he said that Microsoft wouldn't even be there. He was right about one thing with Hellblade being there, and everything else. I'm like, we've talked about this dude, so I looked him up. He's been wrong 99% of the time. So, like, I just don't believe anything this man says.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, regardless, yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah.
At least we're looking at
Yeah,
what the
maybe he's
probability
turning it
is for
around
this.
this year. It's certainly possible, but like,
Who knows?
he doesn't know.
No, I mean, given the turn of events that 2022 started with, at this point, I'll believe anything at this point.
Yeah.
So,
That's fair.
yeah, Microsoft buying Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, and then Sony buying Halo original creators. Like that's not something you'd think would happen, but
Yeah, I was gonna say they can't make Halo anymore.
No, yeah, no. But yeah, you want me to go through this point by point? Just stop me whenever you have a thought on this. So the first point was, according to he's speculating about Last of Us 1 remake that was going to be the holiday game. He's speculating God of War is supposed to be in September, and then the remake's going to be planned to release alongside the television show, and Factions 2 is supposed to come out sometime this year.
Factions 2. I feel like we are always saying, "Oh yeah, it's gonna come out, it's gonna come out, it's gonna come out." So I'm just gonna say, no, it's not gonna come out this year, because haters gonna hate. No, I don't know.
Sure.
And then let's see, Last of Us remake, time of the TV show. That makes sense. Sure, why not? Is it gonna be this year? Who knows? But timing the two, maybe. Um, God of War should, in theory, come out this year, but I'm kind of expecting that to get pushed back. But we'll see.
Okay.
That sums up that.
Any other thoughts on this?
God of War this year, confirmed.
You think so?
Yeah, because it was only delayed. What they said, it was delayed because Christopher Judge, the main actor for Kratos, got hurt. That's why they delayed the game.
Okay.
What we saw, I'm assuming we'll see gameplay for that, and I think that's coming out in September. Because I think it's going to take like a Spider-Man spot. And then, I think Factions 2, I think we'll see something about Factions. I hope we see something about Factions. Will it come out this year? I don't know. The Last of Us TV show is either coming out this summer or it's coming out in the fall.
Okay.
They have to show the Last of Us TV show because filming has mostly been completed. We know most of the full cast. I think we know all of them at this point. Like, there's no way this show's not done. It doesn't take that long to create a TV show and then to put it out. Like, they filmed. Usually shows film like for 4 months, and then about 3-4 months later the show's out. The show finished filming, I believe, already, so it should be out, I would assume, end of summer.
Okay.
And that's where the tease of Factions is. I hope.
I would hope so as well. I'm right there with you. I would hope so as well. Any other thoughts on this one before I move on to the next one here? All right. I'm gonna combine this thing because it was like two pieces here. So a possibility we get to look at Blue Point's original project. This is going to be for 2022. Nate says this is in passing, but sounds like confirmation for the smaller project. Millie had talked about that they were making a remake and that it's heavily presumed that the game that they're working on right now is Bloodborne. Yeah, that's what I got for this one.
Could be. I don't really know what they're gonna do with it. I mean, I don't know. Demon Souls, to me, was a better remake because that game's been out of the limelight for so long. Bloodborne still feels so recent. I don't know. I almost want to say, like, let Blue Point do their own thing and not remake a game. But, they'll probably do a fantastic job with it.
I think they would.
100% they would do a fantastic job. Every time we talk about this, I'm always confused why they just wouldn't let. If Blue Point wants to make in the same kind of genre, why would they move them to Bloodborne? Just have them make a Demon Souls 2. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Or have them make a Bloodborne 2, and then put out a small remaster of Bloodborne. Like, why are we not? I don't think a remake of Bloodborne is needed. I agree with Kevin on that. Like, it's too early.
Okay.
If anything, just like a, I don't know, small remaster type thing.
For like PS5.
Yeah, but even then, you could just do it. You could just make it like a native version that runs 4K 60. I mean,
the game still looks good.
I will say this.
It'll be fine.
I'm going to make a slight adjustment to what I'm going to say. If they are remaking Bloodborne, and there are future plans for Bloodborne 2, it might make sense because when they remake Bloodborne 1, they can establish an engine and graphics and stuff like this for Bloodborne 2.
But Bluepoint already said in their announcement that they're working on something new.
What if it's Metal Gear Solid 4?
No, something new.
Hey,
So,
it could be Solid Gear Metal.
Yeah, I mean, Matsu's on board for that.
Matsu's on board for Solid Gear Metal 2.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm just sick of hearing this rumor.
All right. Well, since you're sick of hearing it, let me move on to the next one here. Pending Final Fantasy 16 coming out in 2022, he thinks they may see Final Fantasy 7 Remake 2 as a PS5 exclusive. States no PS4 version, which I think I talked about this on the podcast at one point in time.
You did.
And believes it will come out in 2023. Square wants quicker turnarounds. FF16 to come out in later half of 2022, while FF7 Remake 2 is 2023.
Wild.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with this one where, okay, if we have FF7 Remake Part 2 coming, we will probably hear about it as a small teaser this year, and then we will probably see it next year. They have the assets and everything. All they need to do is build on the PlayStation 5 engine now. They're using the Luminous engine. They have to update it for PS5. That's all they need to do. Assets can be reused in that, and then they're just basically now creating the giant map of Midgard that was supposed to be used at this point in the time of the game. So 2023 is not out of the realm of possibility, and if they have that, Spider-Man 2, and something else that we have no idea about confirmed for 2023, I mean, you're looking at just as big a year as 2022 is that 2023 can be.
Yep.
FF16 coming out this year. So if that ends up coming out this year, the way it should, and as long as there's no delays or anything like that, we'd have Horizon, Gran Turismo, God of War, FF16 for PlayStation 5 this year. I mean, that's a blockbuster year in terms of just gaming, and that's not including like the other things that are coming, like Forspoken and any other PlayStation exclusive we may be hearing about that would be releasing this year that we have no idea about yet. I mean, FF16 also is poised to do. It looks like it's going to be doing well, considering what FF15 was, and it really doesn't have too much it needs to live up to. Looking back now, as long as they do this right, they will pretty much sell a blockbuster game here. Definitely plausible for later half of 2022, though. Any other thoughts on this before I move on to the next one?
No, I think you summed it up pretty well.
Okay. So the last piece of this is that Sony will retain whatever leverage they have on the mainline Persona games. Persona 6 will be PS4, PS5. Also reaffirms that 4 Golden will go to Nintendo Switch and PS4 and PS5 in 2022, as would be following the Ultimax announcement and the anniversary that's happening this year. And the acquisition that they're talking about is a target specific, so the Sony will target specific acquisitions such as Ember Lab and Remedy.
I mean, I like that because that's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird.
Yes, that is weird.
So,
yes,
if this man's right, I'm a genius.
Yes, you are.
But if he's wrong, it's his fault. He's wrong, not me.
Yeah, no.
I'm a nobody.
No, you didn't do anything. You just said something.
Those be good acquisitions for Sony, smaller ones. Remedy would be pretty big, I think.
I think Remedy would be bigger than we think, because that's like Kevin said earlier. That's going to open the door to TV and movies and gaming and
but like they don't. I don't think they would keep them as an independent publisher. Just buy them outright.
Oh no, they buy them. Yeah, that'd be a full scale buyout, I think.
Yeah. So I don't think the TV and stuff would increase the price, but Yeah, I mean that'd be pretty good. What was the first part again?
Persona 6 will be PlayStation exclusive. Persona 4 Golden will go to Switch and PlayStation in 2022, following the Ultimax announcement that we had originally, which is coming to Switch and PlayStation 4.
6 exclusive to PlayStation. I buy that 110%. I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna put an Adam seal of approval on that rumor.
All right.
What does that mean?
You'd buy Persona 6? Oh, you'd buy that. Okay, never mind. I
That's
mistook what you
exclusive
said.
to PlayStation 5.
Yes,
Yeah, I would
I'm
100%
sorry.
buy
Look
that.
at that.
I wouldn't buy that game. I'm not. That's not my type of
No.
game. But like that, I would agree that that's something. I mean, Sony. That's what their thing is. They want
That's their bread and butter, yeah.
third-party exclusives. Like,
JRPG, that's their bread and
yeah,
butter for that.
I could totally see that. Even if it's like just like a 1 or 2 year deal, like 100%, totally believe that.
Okay, all right. Alrighty. Any other thoughts before I move on to part 2 of this rumor?
Part 2.
Alrighty, part 2. So part 2 talks about Project Spartacus, PSVR 2, and just 2022 in a whole for PlayStation here. I'm going to take this and I'm going to break this up now, so stop me as you hear things. Okay, I'll stop as I finish segments. Okay, this is a relatively long one here. So the first part here. Nate believes that September to October is the window for the release of the PlayStation VR 2, just before holiday timeframe. Horizon VR game will be there. Chatter about PSVR 2, nothing new, but just speculation, things like pricing and Resident Evil 8 VR mode. Nate states, based on information he has received, it will not be backwards compatible due to technical issues in tracking. Enhanced versions of the games with superior controls and superior graphics are likely, and backwards compatibility could come later. However, a marketing specialist from Reset Era has heard it will be backwards compatible. I'll stop there.
Okay, so he's saying literally 3 different things
Yes.
about backwards
He's
compatibility. He's like, there's going to be
he's
backwards compatibility, but then it doesn't work, but it could come later, but they still intend to do it. Like, what is
he
your
said
prediction, my guy?
no, he says it will not be backwards compatible due to technical issues. He says enhanced versions of the games with superior controls, superior graphics are likely, and then backwards compatibility may come later. But he's saying initially his initial comment is that based on information he has received, there will be no backwards compatibility. That's what he's saying.
What does he mean by enhanced editions?
He's saying that let's say you have a upscaled or definitive edition of a game for PSVR 2. So like how you have.
Wait, the backwards compatibility and the enhanced editions are 2 separate things?
Yes.
What?
So like so he's saying that certain the games that are not compatible with the PSVR 2 that were compatible with PSVR 1, there may be an enhanced version of that coming so that you can play it on the PSVR 2.
Okay, yeah, okay, this one. Okay. That's what I said with PSVR 2. It's because the games are just made in completely different ways. Yeah, they'll only bring the biggest titles over.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of believe that, but man, that dude, that was a flip flop.
Okay. Any other thoughts on this one here? I think September to October is I think that's not a safe assumption.
I think VR2 comes out this year.
I don't know. I don't know. Considering there's still supply constraints of the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, but does the headset have a chip in it that the console does?
I would assume anything has these chips in it that they need. A car has it, a PS5 does, a phone has it, everything just uses silicon chips. Yeah, those two.
Kevin brings up good points.
So, I would assume if supply constraints stay the way they are now, I think it's going to be a little difficult to release this year. I want to be optimistic like you. I think I want to do that, but...
It's not optimism. I just think that when they talked about the first VR, they announced it a year before, then they showed it, and then it came out.
But that's a different time.
I agree it's a different time. It's been longer than a year. They announced it, then we
Announced
waited
it
a long time, and then they were like,
last
"This
year.
is
They
what this
announced
looks
that.
like." Over a year ago at this point, when they first talked about it, they're like, "We're doing a VR2."
Okay. Oh wow, it feels longer than that. Oh my god.
Yeah, they've been
Um.
talking about it for a while. We finally saw some of it. I honestly think we'll get a VR2 this year.
Okay. Okay. Any other thoughts?
Get it
Any other
before
thoughts?
holiday, you know.
Yeah. I would like it. I would like it
Bundle
before
it with
holiday.
PS5s.
That would be an $800, $700 thing then.
That's how you get people to buy it.
God,
Like,
700
oh,
or
you only have
750.
PS5s with VR2? That sucks. Well, I guess I'll buy it.
Because I want a PS5.
Yeah?
All right. Move on to the next one. This is another big one. Stop me if you want to make a comment. Okay. So this is about PlayStation Spartacus. So he says PlayStation Spartacus will merge PS Now into PS Plus. I don't know what NSO stands for. He says NSO but good. I don't know what the hell that means. If I can figure it out, I'll
Adam?
tell you. But
No snakes
NSO?
on.
Nah, boo. National
it says
Security Order.
NSO but good instead of comparisons to Game Pass. I'm not trying to figure out what NSO means.
Now
Anyway,
service online, but better.
I don't know.
I have no idea what this man's saying.
All right, well, let me keep going. There will be no putting discs to play native off of there. There's no discs now,
Need
so I don't know.
suction often.
Expects the announcement of Spartacus after the fiscal year on March
Wait, you said
31st.
they wouldn't put no discs allowed?
I don't know what that comment means. I think that whole thing is just fucking
Does he mean
rambling.
like putting a PS1 disc in? Like it won't do anything if you put a PS1 disc in, like how on
Maybe it
Xbox?
says there will be no putting in discs to play native off of there.
So you don't get access to your library. Got it.
I don't know if that's what that necessarily means.
Well, I mean, if you have a library of discs, then you don't get access to them. If you can't put a disc in.
Expects the announcement of Spartacus after the fiscal year on March 31st between April and June. So he breaks this down into three
What?
different segments here. So he's starting with PS1. To his understanding, it's going to be offered at launch as a PS2 and PSP. Hold on.
What
Okay,
the
what he
fuck
writes.
is this man saying?
Hang tight. Hang on. I'm trying to read
I'm
all this.
hanging.
Okay.
When is this rumor
He's saying
from?
today.
Oh.
Okay. He's saying that. To his understanding, the first thing that's going to launch is PS2. PSP is going to be offered a little later in 2022 and will be downloadable. PS3 games will still stay streaming. The service will be restricted to current PS Now 19 countries with planned expansion to other countries. So wherever PS Now is currently, it's going to be there.
Okay.
There is indication for the whole. Okay, never mind that.
No PS1s?
He gets it at one point. PS3 is streaming and may come at launch. They speculate they could do downloadable PS3 games and is a possibility, but not in the near future. Spartacus will have 100 PS1 games at launch, and they're doing PS2 and PSP later to ensure emulation is at a high quality, not like NSO with no lag, with no input lag and issues. Is NSO an emulator? Is that what he's saying?
NSO might be an emulator.
That might be what he's referring to. Sony does not want to drip feed games like NSO and want consumers to have legacy software. Wait, Nintendo Switch Online is NSO.
Yeah, he's comparing it to Nintendo Switch Online.
Okay, I'm going to stop there for this one because I think I need to reread and kind of understand what he's saying here. So I'm going to sum it up. He's saying PS1 is going to be first, and it'll be 100 games at launch. PS2 and PSP are going to be put out later in downloadable version. PS3 is going to be only streaming, but there could be a possibility of download later on.
But not in the near future.
Yes, not in the near future. And then the emulation is supposed to be high quality, so I'm assuming up-resed, upscaled games.
I'll tell
That's
you.
what
I'll tell you right
surmise at
now
this
what
point.
does not make sense to me at all about this.
Go ahead.
PS1 being first and then PS2 and PSP after that. Why not PS1 and PS2?
I would
The
assume
PS2 could play PS1 games. Like
yeah,
immediately,
but
easily. Like it's not. They're not that
PS2
different of
Yeah, but not
machines.
emulation.
not emulation. No, PS2 I think is built on a different type of like emulation platform. Like PS2 and PSP are very similar in emulation, while PS1 is different. I think that's why it's separated that way.
That confuses the shit out of me. I gotta be honest.
Okay.
Because I don't know how PS1 and PS2 are different in emulation. I don't really understand emulation though, but like that's weird.
Emulation is writing software to trick something into thinking that it has the hardware or something else, as far as I'm aware.
But how are PS2 and PSP games similar?
Like the reason why, I have no idea because I don't know much about the PSP. But like, I get what you're saying because like when you bought a PS2, you could play PS1 games on it, but that's just because the system knew how to do that. When you're making an emulator, you are telling a thing how to run specific games. Just because you can emulate a PS2 doesn't mean that it also understands PS1. You would also have to put that entire thing in it and have it recognize which thing it's loading.
I'll tell you what's throwing me. The PSP played a lot of PS1 games. And that I just for it to be paired with PS2, it's confusing.
I see where you're confused.
Like,
I see where it's coming from. You need to separate it though in terms of PS2 and PSP were a pair.
I don't know if I need to because I don't believe anything about this rumor.
No. I'm just saying
to just.
Yeah. Okay. Then I guess.
I'm not. I mean, it'd be cool. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Well, Spartacus is real. We know that. And it's supposed to be announced in the summer. We know that. Jason Schreier confirmed all of that. And he announced that it might have PS1, PS2, and PSP games. PS3 was not mentioned, and he said it's basically a combination of Game Pass or PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus. That's what he said. That's what we know about it. Everything this man is saying sounds like it's so stupidly specific that I just have to believe he's making it up. Like, are there going to be hundreds of PS1 classics? Yeah, maybe. But, like, how many PlayStation 1 classics are on PlayStation Now, right now?
I don't know. I'd have to look that up.
How many PS2 games are on PlayStation Now? Are there any PSP games on PlayStation Now? What happened to PlayStation TV? That ran Vita games. Why can't they just combine... Nothing about this makes sense.
I see what you're saying, okay.
I get it. I would agree with you on that.
Like, everything he's saying is so generic. Like, 100 PS1 games, sure. Why not? I doubt they'll have 100. But, like, it's possible. PS2 and then PSP? PS3 will come maybe later, but not near in the future. Okay.
He's saying just downloadable PS3 games.
Yeah, but is it because Sony has constantly said, like, this fucking PS3 games, we built that console stupid. It was powerful, but we built it dumb.
Maybe
where PS3 games can't run for shit. It's so weird.
Well, I mean, to that point, if you're gonna make an emulator, you can, I think, in theory, make it run better than the original thing that you're trying to emulate.
That's what I don't understand. If this is just an emulator, why can't you emulate PS3 games? Aren't there PS3 emulators already?
Yes.
then why
I don't
can't
know if
you
they're good or
just
not.
you can just download that service and that will fucking do it for you? Like what the hell? This none of this makes any sense to me. How these people are, because this is described as in like, oh, it's going to be 100 PlayStation 1 classics because of like the ratings, like, or like the fucking copyright or whatever like that. He's just saying like, oh, it's a technical thing. They can't figure out PS3 games won't work. What PS3 games could they get on there, other than Sony first party games? Like they would have to go through each one at a time, and then the developer or the publisher of those games would have to be like, "You're gonna stream it? Is this gonna be an inferior version of my game?" Like, there's just so much that is not being addressed that I can't get behind any of this.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay. I'm going to summarize the next 2 paragraphs of what he says because it's too much and it's almost 1 o'clock here. So he says that so he's looking from sources that standalone purchases of legacy software games will be available. However, he's not sure whether you still need to have the subscription to still own those licenses to the games. So I think similar to how you and I were speaking the other night of like Game Pass, like once you buy it on there, you keep it once after
You
it's,
buy a game on PlayStation Plus, you own the game if you pay any amount of money.
Right. So I guess if you bought it, you'd keep it. Yeah.
If you
I don't
pay
know why
any
he would.
amount of money for a game and then your subscription ends and you don't own it, then you're not. That's stealing your purchase. That makes no sense.
No, he's specifically saying, do you need to have the subscription to buy it in the first place, or can you buy it anytime with no service attached? Like, are these all these PS1, 2, and 3 and PSP libraries behind that service to be able to buy it?
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I need to specify that. I
Yeah, that's
apologize.
fine. That's fine.
And then he said he believes that Spartacus is going to be only PS4, PS5, and that one of the features for PS5 would be PS3 may only be for downloads on that. So he says if downloads would come, it would only come on PS5. Hasn't heard about trophy support, although he doesn't know if it's going to be there or not. Just because he hasn't heard about it doesn't mean that it's not going to be there. Spartacus, he says, will not add day one big releases, but will add indie third-party day one on service like PS Plus. Believes the service will do their due diligence and the service will be phenomenal. So I guess he thinks that Sony's going to pour enough money into this to make it amazing and fantastic.
They have to, yeah. That's.
I mean, yes, they would have to. The only other thing he mentions is that the other features may include extended game demos, PS4, PS5 catalog, but nothing else of substantial value there. Yeah, that's what I have for the rest of that. There's 2 other pieces that I'll speak on before we wrap it up, and that's it. That's not pertaining to Spartacus.
I will
think
say
you stuck with your point, and I think Kevin and I, and probably Desanote as well, would probably agree with you that
I'm pretty sure
there's a lot
Desanote is
of
sleeping. I would say that this man's guesses are just as valid
I'm
as
here.
anybody else's guess. I didn't ask. But go back to bed. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about all this? You've been quiet. Speak up. If you say, "What are we talking about?" I'm gonna hit you in real life. No, I won't, because you offered me a Horizon Regala edition. I don't need that anymore, but thank you. So, this man's my hero.
What were we talking about?
Nope. It's 1 o'clock. Nope.
So let me
Tune in next week for Desanota's opinion on this rumor.
if we want to say any closing comments on that, I'll wrap it up with the last 2 pieces you got here because there's 2 different things.
Wrap me.
Wrap you? Do you want me to
Yeah,
wrap you?
Yeah, you said wrap it up. Yeah.
Okay. All right, then I'll wrap you.
Kevin, good thing you're off tomorrow.
Good Lord.
Really worked out.
So the two final pieces, he's heard that there is a potential Super Mario Musou game
A
that
what?
is
What?
like a Dynasty Warriors game for Super
Oh,
Mario.
Jesus.
That
Did you
might
say
be in works from
Dynasty?
Dynasty.
Oh, I thought you said Dynasty. I was like, what the hell is a
No,
Dynasty?
a Dynasty Warrior game for Super Mario.
Yeah, it still sounds
They
kind of
they
weird
call those
when you just said it again.
Dynasty.
You're saying it different almost every other time.
They're
Just tell
called
me about the
Muso games.
dynasty, okay? Just tell me.
All right, they're called Muso games. That's what they're called, and he's saying that it may be a partnership between Koei Tecmo and Nintendo.
Of
And then
course.
he's saying MGS1 remake is may be handled by Bluepoint if they're not doing
I swear to
Bloodborne.
fucking God.
Another one?
I swear to God. I swear to God. This man is
Now
the
hold
one
on,
that keeps telling me this rumor, and I
I
hate
didn't
him.
finish. I didn't finish. If they're not doing it, it's being handled by Virtuous Studio. I don't know
Who?
what studio that is. Virtuous. I have to look them up right now. Virtuous Studio. Who in the hell is that? They're an actual studio. Virtuous
Well, I didn't think he
Games.
made it up.
I mean, considering we think that he's made a lot of things up here, I would not be surprised.
I think he has bad sources. They co-develop a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like they actually have like
2,500 people, 15
yeah.
offices,
It doesn't
150
look like
clients.
they've actually worked on a game by themselves. It looks like it's just
They've worked with everybody.
they're just everywhere. Virtuous Studios. So honestly, it's possible. This is a Crunch Studio. That's what's going on here. Yeah, this is a Crunch Studio. This is located in Singapore, and it's literally about art and ports. So,
okay.
Yeah. Maybe, I guess. If it is, good for that studio. Also, sorry.
Alright, well.
I just want Bluepoint to announce a game, and it's just nothing that anybody said. It's just a fishing simulator or something. Just to be like, we wanted to make our own thing.
Bluepoint comes out and they're like, guys, we took over the abandoned project.
No.
Speaking of which, hang on a minute. We were supposed to get an update in January, and they never gave us an update.
They got hacked and shit. Like, don't bring that up. Mentally, no. Just don't.
Now, hold on. I want to say that I'm still waiting.
I'm sorry for you.
I want you to know that there's a real possibility that Factions 2 comes out before Abandoned. I just want you to know that.
I want you to know there's a real possibility that this game is going to follow its name and be abandoned because this company has yet to finish a game.
Kevin, you make good points. Maybe they'll stop because they've been hacked or they accidentally lost a file or deleted something. Or, maybe who gives a fuck?
There was supposed to be some sort of update to their freaking app. We're waiting.
Why is there an app for this? What is happening?
Because
I'm still so angry at this. Why did you bring this up? I'm never gonna sleep, Genesis. And I'm not gonna sleep tonight because you've brought up Abandoned.
I didn't bring it up.
Yeah, but
Kevin brought it up.
Yeah, but it felt like a more you brought it up kind of thing.
Why do you keep blaming him?
What?
That's so rude.
Feel attacked.
That was more you.
All right. Well, thank you everybody who's stuck around for this longer episode of Crafting a Chat.
Wait, that's it? Aw.
Yeah, that's it. It's
Kevin, it's 1:05.
Yeah, but I'm off tomorrow, so I don't care.
I mean, if you have more, honestly, we're gonna all be on.
I don't know if Destinota's gonna be on.
Destinota hasn't spoken in an hour and a half. He fell asleep. Keep going.
No, I'm just dueling.
Yeah, we know.
No, I think I'll call into this point. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around for as long as you did. As
Alright,
always,
well, let me hold on. Blue
yeah,
Point
yeah.
with Metal Gear Solid 1 remake. Please don't remake Metal Gear Solid 1 again. Please.
I
Please?
would want a remake of that. Are you kidding me?
Why?
I want a
It's
remake
already
of
been done
MGS1.
like 2 previous times.
Yeah, but in the format that we got like MGS4 and 5 in, no, I want that remake. I want it in that
Why?
format. Because I want to be able to play it that's not a top-down view.
Okay, then play Twin Snakes.
I don't want to play Twin Snakes. I want to play it on a PlayStation
Twin
4 or
Snakes was
5.
so freaking good. That was like the definitive way to experience Metal Gear Solid 1.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying I want to play it on a PlayStation 4 or 5.
Alright,
All
I'll get
right,
that.
so I got something pulled up here. It looks like there's some Uncharted content coming to Fortnite in time for the movie's release. What does
Yes,
the
there
panel
is.
feel about that?
Adam's gonna extend the podcast.
Christ.
5 more Dark Pictures titles were trademarked.
Wait.
They were
Continue.
yep. The titles are The Craven Man, O Death or Zero Death, Directive 8020, Intercession, and Winterfold.
Kevin, this is an anthology. It's supposed to be 5 games. They're making 10
Anthology does
games
not
now.
mean 5. We've
No.
already told you about I've
They
already went through
no.
that definition.
They already said that they were shooting for like 8 or 9 games.
Yes, they did.
That's why when I said I still haven't played the 3rd game yet, so please do not stay.
Kevin, you want to do that perfect run with me? Because
Yo,
We could, but hold on.
Kevin can join us.
I still
yeah,
say
yeah.
yes. Hold on. I still say, um, there's 4 books on the bookshelf that he keeps going back to. That's
Yeah.
it. But they've had 8 games planned. I still say that there's a bigger story going on here, and I'm freaking on board. I can't
Mm-hmm.
wait.
Mm-hmm.
I have avoided the trailers for whatever the 4th game is until I beat the 3rd game because they
Same, I've
always have the
avoided
trailer
it.
at the end. So I'm hyped, and I totally believe this because they said there were gonna be 8 games, which
Yep.
5 more titles would make sense because we would know. Well, actually, hold on now. Does that take into? Do we think that takes into account the title that we would definitely know at this point because there would be a trailer for the 4th game?
I don't.
Or
Do
are we
we
going into
know
9
the
now?
name of that game yet?
The
We
4th
would.
game?
We
Yes,
would because
we know what it is.
they've already announced it. It's
Yes, they
at the
have.
end of 3. I
Yes.
just don't know what it is.
Hold on, I'll Google it real fast.
Don't. If it at
Just to
all has
compare.
spoilers,
Just to compare. What are these called?
Dark Pictures Anthology.
Thank you.
There. Oh, I got the name.
What's
The
the
Devil
name?
in Me.
That's fucking sick, Genesis. You don't talk about yourself like that.
Wait, what?
Get that out. Use protection at least. Come on.
It's Devil in Me.
Oh, I
I
know.
thought there was. Isn't that a different game? Oh, that's
No.
Devil Inside.
That's a movie.
No, what is the other game?
So there's the Man of Medan. There's
No, not in this series. There's another game that has a title, like it's coming out this year, and it has a title very similar to that, and it's gonna bother me.
Little Devil Inside or something.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like
that's
that,
different.
right?
Yeah, that's different. That's the one
Okay.
with the Russian doll. Wasn't that the State of Play thing?
Yeah, that was PlayStation
Yeah, that was
exclusive.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a PlayStation thing. Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts from the panel?
The Devil in Me is the 4th one. I don't know what the 5th one would be, but if we're looking at this is about 9 games at that point, so we're just missing one extra one to make it a full 10. I mean, I'm always up for more. I'm just waiting for us to do this perfect run.
We got to pick a day. We just haven't figured out a day.
Kevin, you want to join us for this perfect run?
Maybe.
You could play on yours, and we could do multiplayer at this point too.
You could, yeah.
Adam, Adam can just make the choices for us, but no.
Both of you? Okay, yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. Share screen.
No, no. You can't watch two separate share screens, can
Yeah,
you?
but I could log in under my on my phone, and I can watch a different share screen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because
It'd be a journey for me.
Have you played multiplayer, Genesis?
I have not. How does that go?
Oh, we're gonna be in totally different areas.
Oh.
Oh yeah, no, you're not always together. I mean, sometimes you are, but like other times, like if groups separate, you'll be with group A and I'll be with group B. And sometimes, like, the thing, oh, yeah, if we do this, you have to tell me things you're doing or seeing, because it's actually important. Like, some of the premonitions and stuff that you might see might affect my half, so I need to know that stuff. And then, like, there was, oh god, what was the second game? I forget what it was called now.
Little Hope.
Little Hope, thank you. In Little Hope, I told my sister when we were playing it, I'm like, oh crap, I have a gun and I gave it to this person in case that becomes a thing later, and it was for her. If she didn't have that information, she would have known that she could have grabbed it.
Okay, this is 100 times more interesting now, and I want to do it this way because I think this will be even cooler.
I think we can do it.
Yeah, I think so. All right. Anything else we got before we shove off?
There's Cyberpunk 2077 PS5 version. An alternate cover was leaked out. It has like a woman on the cover. It's the same cover except it's a woman. I think that's the only difference. I mean, like, does anybody think the PS5 version is coming out this year?
It's not. No, that's gonna get delayed 2 times over. I don't think that game is ever gonna see the light of day at this point.
Okay. I got one more. Jeff Keighley was talking about acquisitions. He's like, more are coming. Jeff Grubb, more coming. There's a rumor Jeff Keighley's buying E3. How does the panel feel about that?
What?
Whoa.
Yep. He's gonna buy E3?
Wowzers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a rumor. Big old rumor.
Are you showing me up here? Is this what you're doing?
No, not at all.
Because that's mind blowing there. What
yeah, it's not like written down anywhere, but like it's a rumor.
Holy shit! Why? Okay, so my first question is why? Because it's something that's failing. I mean, yes, you could turn it into an online venue, and now all of a sudden it succeeds again. But like, why?
I don't know.
That's a weird one.
You already have the Video Game Awards show. What more do you need to do?
Why would you want to obtain E3? That's an odd purchase to make. Well, first of all, how much? Well, I'd want to know the amount he's going to spend on it. I would assume it's not as much as we think, because considering E3 is a failure now, I would assume he's not going to spend much money on it at all to get that. But then that would just be something under his belt that he has, which now he can have an official venue for his Summer Games Fest.
Sure.
He can rename it G3 instead of E3.
Jeff3.
Jeff3.
That's probably the dumbest thing you've ever said.
At least that was the dumbest thing. Hey, it's right behind G4. You know, the game. At least that was.
By the way, this comes from a guy on Twitter called Thundercracker, just replying to Jeff Keighley, breaking Jeff Keighley is buying E3.
When did this tweet go through?
Looks like a little over 40 minutes ago.
You gotta be kidding me.
This person has 38 followers and does not make predictions for the industry.
Oh, maybe he's lying.
It's probably a joke.
But if it's true,
I trust this guy just as much as Nate the Hate. So what I'm saying is, one guy who has no experience with anything said Jeff Keighley's buying E3. So interesting
I
stuff.
mean, the
All
same
right,
man can
I
say
got
that.
one more here. No, I'm done. I'm done.
This is what I feel. This is what it feels like to hear me say one more.
Yeah. Also,
Jeez.
there's a lot of people being like, Jeff buy E3, Jeff buy E3.
I don't know what he would get. What would he gain from
Pointless.
getting E3?
Pointless. Absolutely pointless.
It'd be a very pointless purchase. But hey, if you want to flex, I guess buy E3.
So Jonathan Anderson at NetherRealm Studios might have just leaked Mortal Kombat 12. He tweeted an image and then quickly deleted it. It looks
Ooh,
like
can I see it?
the image.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get much out of this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll send it to you, but you're not gonna get much out of it.
You
Let's
can't.
talk
You
about
can't.
something else while
Can you
I'm
not?
getting this image. Let's
Can you
talk
not?
about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge and how much Kevin wants this game to not suck and be really, really good.
Take this. One more thing. Take this with a grain of salt. From Oops Leaks. Kojima Productions might be making a small VR game for PSVR 2.
Okay. Excuse me while I go rub one out real quick.
Okay. Because it's just they're saying that they got PSVR 2 prototypes back in November of 2021. This is a grain of salt one. And then Kojima has talked about a smaller project. He's just saying it'll be edgy, it'll be like an indie game, and it's a way of playing that has never been created before. So that's just a small thing. Any thoughts by the panel?
Can I just say that this picture, right?
Yeah, it's a trash picture.
You zoom in on the Mortal Kombat so real it hurts. That is the scariest promotion poster ever.
It's great. It's
The
great.
characters are out, they're like reaching out of the game and just grabbing these kids by the shirt. They're like flipping out.
Oh no, we don't want to. We don't want to do that. Oh, no.
I like
Kojima-sama.
how there's an Injustice 2 photograph in this picture.
Mm-hmm.
How did we get Mortal Kombat 12
There's
out of
also a
this
Wonder
exactly?
Woman picture. So
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
lot. There's a lot going on in there.
How did we get Mortal Kombat 12 out of this?
Because of the image with the Mortal Kombat poster, I think it's like some Mortal Kombat shit in that has never been seen before, or it's like redesigns of characters, and because he quickly deleted it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Kojima-sama. Give me a
Genesis, you want to say anything about that Kojima thing,
feeling.
or are you okay?
Kojima-sama. Give me a feel game.
All right. I got one more.
Please, Daddy.
So Destruction All Stars is potentially going free to play. A patch was
No.
released, but if you and then it went down for an hour for server maintenance. But if you logged into the game, it didn't have user codes. It had like different codes that people use for like PCs. So people are like, is this going free to play and is this coming to PC? So it's a possibility that it's going free to play in the near
I thought
future.
an update came out for it that actually made it good.
Apparently it's better, but a lot of people are like, it's still missing something. Which I would probably agree with. But
One of these days.
yeah,
One of these days we'll get there.
yeah. All right.
Alrighty. Well, appreciate the rumor segment
Disconnected
from
from
Adam.
the server. All right.
What? Disconnect from the server? What are you
Yeah, I was
talking about?
disconnected from the server. So.
Oh. Well, thank you from our resident rumor specialist, Adam. I appreciate that. Thank you for thanks to everybody who stuck it out for this long in this episode of Crafting a Chat. Everybody be safe out there. Get your vaccines. Get your boosters. Stop being an idiot. Wear a mask. We will see you again next week, same time, same place. Episode 79 of Crafting a Chat. And we are signing off for tonight. See you guys later.
All right, I got one more, and that's bye bye.